by Jai Gray with help from Arrow and also Hubner. Ball played under the black top a couple of metres out. Carrigan's one out and pretty easy pickings for the South Sydney defence. That looked a little flabby from the Broncos early. In good position. Now Jensen one man to the left, and again that's pretty easy pickings for the South defence. They just put three defenders on Jensen. Last play for Brisbane, to the left for Reynolds. He runs it now, floats the pass to the edge, taken by Cobbo. Defenders come across, he has to stop. Passes infield to Mam. Rubber for the in-goal area, didn't make it. Jai Gray gets there easily and fields a pretty poor end of what was a pretty poor set. South with the ball 10 from their own line.
Yeah, asked very few questions of the South defence. They tried to probably own that middle that I talked about, but it was some poor execution in the end. Ezra Mam put in a kick that had no depth, and Jai Gray was well positioned to defuse the chance.
Arrow runs the ball up to the 20 for South Sydney. Plays the ball there. So you've got two helmets for the two Greys. No related. White helmet, Jai Gray, fullback. Black helmet, Ryan Gray, who's in at dummy half here. Underneath the run there of Host. On the 30 South at the end of the set. Dodd puts it to his left boot. It's going to be taken by Walsh on the full. 22 from his own line, middle of the park. Decides to give the pass to Mariner, who runs into the defence, and Brisbane will start this set 10 from their own line. If you've just tuned in, an amazing last-minute try to Jermaine Osako has seen the Dolphins defeat the Warriors with the last play with ball in hand. 20 points to 18, where Herbie Farnworth injured his hamstring, and Osako couldn't take the last conversion attempt because he looked a bit hamstrung as well. Broncos across the 40 on attack. Inside line run from Ricky. Nice defence though from South Sydney to ensure Ricky doesn't get beyond the 30. Good read and tackle from Aitken. Blindside run. Right, Hunt goes for a run. A little grubber. Devilish bounce for Johnston, but AJ does get it under control just. South with the ball defensive left edge on their own 10. No score early on.
You can see early on Cobbo and Mariner, the replacements after Karapani and Jesse Arthurs were dropped. They've been very, very active, Q, in their first couple of sets, bringing the ball back. I think that was what's given to them. If you want to stay in this team, carry the ball down the park.
And Mark on the text, from one of our many blind listeners. G'day, Mark. Caxton Street is north, Milton Road is south. So when I refer to the street names and say, oh, is it which one's north, which one's south? Caxton Street north, Milton Road south. So as we sit in the Western Sands, Souths are attacking the right of the radio dial, so to speak. Dodd with the kick downfield, taken by Mariner 15 from his own line, and he's hit solidly by Ryan Gray on the 30 at the southern end of the field. Walsh is in there at dummy half, gives it on to Cobbo. Selwyn Cobbo back into the team for the first time since their come from behind win against Canterbury Bankstown. He's taken 10 from halfway. Willison almost breaches the first line of defence. Gets stopped on halfway. Walsh has gone down behind play as if taken out, and I think that's the reason for the wavy fisty and the ping.
Correct.
6 more for Brisbane. So Ricky goes on a straightener and has taken 35 from South Sydney's line. 7 minutes played, no score at Lang Park. Carrigan, one man to the left, takes 2 in the tackle, flops out a loose offload out the back. Mam has to scurry to clean it up. Yes, loses a metre or two and gets up to the 30. Yes, Saint.
Yeah, look, I can tell you Ryan Gray is really struggling out there. His shoulders pop. He wants the trainer to come and help him, but they won't stop the play.
Ben Hunt gives it on to Jensen, who will run to within 22 metres of South Sydney's line. Slightly left edge for Brisbane. Hunt passes back to right and centre through third. Through the hands of Carrigan to Reynolds to Mam. Staggs catch and give to the edge, knocked on by Mariner. The pass was a little behind him anyway. Dean Merrill was trying to go behind his torso to reel it in. Back to Zano. So what's the issue? It's Ryan Gray, is it?
Yeah, Ryan Gray's got a problem with his shoulder. He was carrying his arm that whole set. He kept trying to say to the referee, please pull up play. Now he seems like he's okay. Maybe it got popped back in, but he was in a world of hurt, Q, and he was just carrying his arm for a number of tackles.
That was the second time they've been down the south and poor execution from the Broncos. They didn't ask enough questions of the South Sydney defensive line, especially when you had someone carrying their arm on the right edge and they thought of the dummy half. That's where they should have went. They went the other way.
8 minutes played, no score. Kepi almost with a line break for South. Got an offload to Jai Gray. Passes to AJ. Johnston down the left wing. Gets to halfway before Mariner reels him in a lot. along with Staggs. And Johnston plays it a couple of metres, attacking side of halfway for the Cardinal and Myrtle. Mack to the centre third for Kepi's run, which gets South to within 43 metres of the Broncos line. He's okay now, Ryan Gray distributing out of dummy half to Dodd. Outside in play there, Arrow's taken 35 metres out, last play for South Sydney. Given to Dodd, 35 out, puts up a bomb which is pretty shallow. No one gets underneath at 15 out. It bounces backwards to South. They want 6 more, and the referee says no, it's still the last. Pass goes to young Ward. Grubbers in behind the line, taken by Cobbo though. And Cobbo's tackled Brisbane's ball midway goal line and halfway.
And Gro's come off and Havili's going on. He couldn't last any long. He couldn't throw that long pass, Q.
Oh, he's got a really bad burner on. That's the way it looks like to me. Yeah, you're right, Zana. He could not pass the ball.
Gosiewski's taken down, 15 in from the western touchline, 12 from halfway. He'll play the ball here to Ben Hunt, given on to Willison, who takes the tackle.
He was quiet last week, Willison. He needs to have a big game to replace Haas.
No Haas, no Piakura if you're late to join us. Walsh with a kick downfield at the end of the set. Bounces kindly for Jai Gray, 15 from his own line. He gathers and the kick return almost to the 30 for the white-helmeted South Sydney fullback. And a penalty goes to South Sydney for a flop there. I think Corey Jensen and Pat Carrigan, they were the two in the tackle.
Yeah, that's a very, very important piggyback for South. Just to settle this young, inexperienced team into the game. The first 10 minutes, they made 1 or 2 errors. They've got to get those out of their game. Because I mentioned the comparison to last week, the Eels. They played mistake-free footy. They built into the game. They built their covers. South have to be mistake-free to give themselves the best chance to stay competitive in this match.
9 minutes played, no score. Earlier, Dolphins, with the last play try, beat the Warriors 20 points to 18. Quentin Hull, Billy Moore and Zane Bojack with you for Friday night footy. Game 2 on ABC Sport. Loose carry from South's second play of the set. And that's a mistake from Sean Kepi.
And one of the more experienced players, exactly what you don't need. Tackle 2, you move into the opposition 20 for the first time in the evening, and you come up with a very simple handling error.
Lindsay at Ballon at Ty Quentin last week. Selwyn Cobbo was playing for Wynnum during country round way out west in Augathella. Next week he's back in the big stage. Big contrast 1 week from Augathella to Lang Park. Good on you, Lindsay. 0467920222.
That's Meat Ants territory, Q, out there, Augathella.
The Meat Ants. It's a great name, isn't it? Cobbo with the ball for Brisbane. Taken 45 from South Sydney's line, middle of the park. Gorgeous conditions for Friday night footy. Yep, and he has started well, Billy. Left edge Jensen, no great gain. 41 metres from South's line when taken in the tackle of Hubner. Now back to right in centre field. 1 out run from Carrigan. No offload. 35 out, middle park when stopped. Hunt passes left for Ezra Mam. Runs at the line with some momentum. Taken down though by the defence of Hubner and also Harvili. So he's out there, Harvili. End of the set. Chip and chase from Reynolds. Taken on the goal line by Johnston of South Sydney. He's about 5 from the goal line. Pushed back a metre or 2 but stays in the field of play. AJ with the defuse at the end of the set and remains scoreless through 11 minutes at the Cauldron.
Oh, they've turned up the defensive heat here, the Broncos. They know they can rattle this young South team with some good shots. It's making it very hard for the Redfern boys to go down the park.
South have got it 15 from their own line. And 4 men in the Broncos tackle there, just trying to work out who that Rabbitohs ball carrier was. It was Hubner. He was so wrapped up you could hardly see him. Now Arrow has a go. Gets over the 20 on a bit of a zigzagging run before taken by Ricky. And last place South's only 25 from their own line. Arrow plays the ball. Havili passes left. Dodd kicks downfield with his left boot. Mariner puts a sort of lazy left hand in it, sort of bats it backwards and then traps it with his boot on his own 20 before picking up and now running into the defence. Bit of a high shot there perhaps from Host. That was the U from the crowd. Ref says no, it's okay. Down to you, Zano. So I'm assuming Havili's out there because Ryan Gray's no good.
Yeah, he's not good. I'm trying to find out through Johnny Sutton just whether or not he might come back, but I've got my doubts. Q-Man, I know that they're missing Payne Haas, but this is like men men versus boys here at the moment. The Broncos are dominating through the middle.
Willison over halfway and tackled 45 metres from South Sydney's line. Slightly right edge, plays it to Ben Hunt. Off left shoulder, gives to Carrigan, met by the defence of Hubner and also Arrow. They put him down, 35 from South Sydney's line. Options either side. To the left, it's given to Reynolds for a kick at the end of the set. Bomb comes down about 10 from the goal line, and it's well taken by young Bentley Harper out there for South Sydney, and the Bunnies will start this a dozen from their own line.
Yeah, you're right, Q. That was a great take by Bentley Harper. That was not easy. A lot of traffic around him, but very secure.
G'day to Donna and Andrew. They're listening from the Jardine River Ferry crossing on a balmy far north Queensland evening. Over the river tomorrow and up to the tip of Cape York. Go Bronx. Sounds like an awesome trip. Enjoy it, Donna and Andrew. Thank you. You can get in touch 0467 920 222. Souths on their own 30. Shifted to the right edge. Jai Gray's pass almost intercepted by Cobber. It was knocked on in the end by Cobbo, who put out a left hand but couldn't catch the ricochet before it bounced.
He just seems to have a bit of a presence here tonight, Cobbo. He very domineering, wants the ball. He's in the right space in defence. Maybe that time in the Q Cup has brought him back hungry.
And Ryan Gray's taken off his headgear to sit on the bench. That doesn't instill any South Sydney fan with confidence, they know that he'll be able to return. Let's hope he's okay. So
the South Sydney side, I've touched on already early on this game, they just need to complete to build some confidence, and that way they can test this Broncos defence.
Young Ashton Ward's in at half. That late news, Jamie Humphries not over his concussion symptoms. So Ward coming in with Dodd already known as the replacement when Jack White and couldn't beat his shoulder charge earlier this week. Kepi takes the ball into attacking territory for South. 47 metres out from the Broncos line. No score at the Cauldron. To the left, here's young Ward wrapped up in a tackle by Reggie. 15 in from the left edge, 42 metres out. Played to Harbilly. Passes blind side. In behind Jai Gray. Cleaned up by Duncan though. Souths keep the ball, but it was a messy play. 5 metres in from the wing out in the left. Johnston flings the ball infield to Dodd. 45 out, end of the set. Dodd with the bomb for Souths. Walsh is under it. 15 from his own line. Catches it, and Ward's there to make the tackle. The Broncos start this set 15 from the Milton Road end of the park.
If you don't mind me breaking into you, I did chat to Johnny Sutton, the trainer for South, and he said they're going to wait and see. He's taking his headgear off, but they're waiting for it to settle. It is a burn as Cobbo goes through the middle.
And gets an off-break to Mam. Up to halfway. Walsh is in, support on his right shoulder. Lovely 1-2 exchange. Mam to Walsh. Walsh to Mam. Mam scores. And the Broncos put on some razzle-dazzle to open the scoring on this Friday night at the Cauldron. Oh, what a lovely exchange. Poor old Jai Gray. He was a rabbit in the Broncos' headlight.
Yeah, there was too much coming out, poor Jai Gray. That last set of 6 by South was inept. It just shows you when you miss the quality players that they've got missing, they just have no firepower in attack. But that was just magnificent play by the Broncos, and their key playmakers got their hands on the ball. Cobbo was the one who poked his nose through, and a lovely offload to Ezra Mam, who was positioning Reece Walsh, the fullback. And it was a lovely play by Walsh. He got the ball and then gave it straight back because he realised Jai Gray, who is very quick, was hanging around, loitering around like a seagull, ready to pick up one of the maybe the tackles of the year, but that was neutralised by Reece Walsh. Great read. Good finish by Ezra Mam. Good work by the Broncos, but yeah, it was great work there by right in the middle of the park by the Bronx.
Already Selwyn Cobbo looks like he is loving being back in first grade.
Yes,
helping set up that break.
I agree. I reckon that time in the Queensland Cup's done him well.
Reynolds with the conversion from point blank range. Brisbane 6, South Sydney 0. 16 and a half minutes played on Friday night footy at the Cauldron on ABC Sport. Earlier the Dolphins 20, Warriors 18. Down to Zane Bojack on the touchline.
4th try of the season for Ezra Mam, and 37th his career. And I tell you what, him and Reece Walsh, they're going to set each other up for a lot more over the journey. They've just got to realise when Reynolds has got to get the ball in his hands, and if they can do that, then they'll be very successful, not just tonight, for the rest of the season. What about this for Adam Reynolds? He's 2 points away, Q. He's He's now on 2,498, 2,498 points. Could be the second to 2,500 with his next successful goal.
He's still, what, about 300 behind Cameron Smith?
He is indeed.
So Cam Smith, the all-time leading point scorer in the game. Broncos first carry off the restart. Jensen almost to the 20. Next play, blindside right, one out. Ricky gets to the 30. 15 in from touch on the right edge. Played to Ben Hunt, passes infield to Carrigan. Runs into the tackle of Havili, who gets some help there from Host. And Carrigan will play at 15 from halfway. Willison, one man to the left of the ruck. It's pretty simple stuff for Brisbane. Bashing him down Main Street, one out up to halfway. Now Hunt out of dummy half. Kicks downfield at the end of the set. It pitches 10 from the goal line, runs to the goal line. Johnston there to gather it for Souths, and he's taken on the kick return before getting to the 10-metre line. Just looking at as Jai Gray takes play too, it doesn't from his own line. One of the peculiarities about Ben Hunt in his 200th game for Brisbane, he played so much, almost exclusively off the bench at the start of his career. An extraordinary stat. The first 82 games that Ben Hunt played for the Broncos, I'll give you a higher or lower. How many starts do you reckon he had, Billy, as Jai Gray's taken? 15 from halfway. Brisbane leads 6-0. Souths with the ball. Havili passes left for Dodd's kick at the end of the set. Kicks it into Ricky. The ricochet's alive. Ricky picks it up. It was a charge down, no knock on. Broncos ball, only 20 out. Ricky's quickly tackled by the man who kicked it in Dodd. Man infield, Staggs. He's taken only a dozen from the goal line. Here he is. Ben Hunt at dummy half. Passes to the left for Willison. One out run at the defensive line. Arms free for the offload. Now he won't give it though. Willison to play at 10 to the left of the uprights, 8 metres out. Played to Hunt. Passes right for Reynolds. Pops it up to the straightener of Jensen, running towards the black dot. He's put down 6 metres out. Options either side here for Hunt. He gets pushed when he took the ball at dummy half. Not tackled anyway. Pass to the left for Walsh. Walsh can't get through. Good defence led by Jacob Host. And he's pushed back with some help there from Kepi. And Walsh will play at 15 metres out. Last play, Brisbane. Hunt passes right. Jensen to Reynolds. Grubbers in behind the line, hoping for Staggs. Read by Johnston. Johnston gathers in the in goal and beats 2 before getting to the 10 and being cut down. And there's a leg pull on AJ as well. Much needed penalty for South Sydney. And, well, the veteran showing his worth, having just inked a new 2-year deal recently, Alex Johnston. Great piece of play there, and Souths will get a much needed kick downfield. Yeah, great work by AJ. He had Staggs breathing down his throat. He diffused it and then beat 2 tackles. Then was able to get a penalty. So they're coming off the line. They're 25 metres out. It's imperative they get to the kick tackle, because you can just see they're going to have a lot of trouble containing this Broncos attack, because they can smell blood in the water, the Broncos. Souths have got it 15 from their own line. So 82 games at the start. How many starts for Ben Hunt in those 82? 60, surely. Sorry, 60? No, way less. This is, if you were in the Price is Right, you'd be nowhere near it. 30? Less. 20? Less. You're kidding me. South's on halfway. No, I'm not. 10. That's why I thought it was worth bringing up, as Host has got the ball 38 metres out. I'll get through the end of this South set before I'll give you the exact number. Havili passes infield. Taken there by Hubner to the left through hands of Dodd onto Duncan. Duncan taken down by Staggs. Last play, South Sydney. 30 metres out in the left. Brisbane leads 6-0. Dodd with the bomb. It'll come down 15 metres out. Johnston taps it. Did it go forward? Yeah, I think it did. Oh, and then Kepi just taps it straight to Ben Hunt. Breaks a tackle, passes to Mam, luckily for South. Mam was cut down from behind by young Ward. Well, that could have been a very embarrassing play. Left edge or forward pass from Cobbo to Shibasaki. And a penalty. And now the ball gets the ball. Now back in the middle of the field, there's a penalty for South Sydney.
Was it Kepi or Jai Arrow that just decided he wanted to play volleyball?
Kepi.
Football?
Yeah. Kepi just realised it was a knock on, so didn't pick up the ball, just sort of whacked it away. I think he was trying to whack it into the in-goal area and didn't hit it very far, and the Broncos almost counted in dangerous manner. Well,
got themselves out of jail there, South Sydney. It was definitely a forward pass, but there's a penalty for obstruction around the ruck. They'll find touch here, South. They're going to be in their best attacking position in the first half.
You're waiting with bated breath?
I am.
His first 82 games in the league, 17 of them were starts. 65 of those 82 were on the bench for Ben Hunt at the start of his career. He didn't fully take over as the starting halfback until round 20 of 2013 when, guess who got called up for New South Wales? Souths have got the ball. They trail by 6-0 and Jai Arrow is tackled only 15 metres out. The Bunnies through Havili, passing right in centre field. Hubner gives it on to Young Ward, popped up for Kepi, who's going to be held up in a three-man tackle, centre field and only 10 metres out. 6-0 to Brisbane. Havili passes right. Ward, he's a slight young man. He steps up his right. He's tackled only 5 metres from the goal line. Plays it to Havili. Passes left in centre field. Hubner gives it on to Arrow. Well taken one-on-one by Ricky. Put down 5 metres out centre park. Havili options either side. Passes right for Ward. Holds it, straightens, gets smashed by the tackle of Mam up high. Oh, and Gosiewski, I think, is a bit slow to get up. He was the other man in it. Right edge pass. Right on the wing. Bentley Harpy runs out of room and has too many in front of him. He's right on the touchline, right near the corner post with 3 Broncos around him as well. And he's tackled on the last play. Hand over, Brisbane's ball. 10 from their own line with 17 minutes remaining in the first half. Brisbane leads 6-0. It's Friday night footy on ABC Sport.
Interesting body language, that centre 6 Q on the attack. The first time they've attacked all night. Lewis Dodd, left-hand side, was screaming for the ball on 4 occasions. Havili went the other way. Wonder if that's saying something about respecting that team for the English number 7.
So the first time that Ben Hunt really got picked in the starting team was late in 2013 when Peter Wallace got called up to play Origin for New South Wales.
But that would have been before 2013, Q.
No, it was 2013.
Rightio.
Yep. Looked it up during the week, Zeno.
Okay.
Yep.
I don't think he played that late.
Yep.
Last release on the mark.
So Carrigan's got the ball. 45 from South Sydney's line. End of the set. Reynolds with the bomb for the Broncos. It'll come down 10 metres out. Jai Gray does well to catch it. He evades Ricky before Staggs is there to make the tackle. South start the set. A dozen from their own line. Yeah, so 200 up for Ben Hunt tonight. Game 346 in all, of course, having had the, 7 seasons at St George Illawarra. Quite the stint to think you made 200 appearances for one club when you've played 7 years elsewhere. Souths have got it. LeBlanc's out there. He's 10 from halfway. So too is Fletcher. And young Thomas Fletcher on debut. Did he drop that? Referee said yes. Broncos pick it up, play on. Not a good moment for the young man from Coonamble.
He was cut in half by Kobe Hetherington. He was jogging the ball and he just gave a massive hit to make sure the ball went to the ground.
Broncos are 40 metres out on the run of Staggs. Make it 35 out. Staggs is just right of centre field. 15 minutes to the break. Brisbane leads 6-0. It's been a pretty tight encounter so far. Ben Tolti out on the field for Brisbane. 25 metres from South Sydney's line. Tolti plays it. Now to the right. Reynolds runs it. Gives it to Walsh to the right edge. Holds it up. Gives to Ricky. Great tackle. Defensive left side there.
Duncan.
Made by Duncan. Now Walsh out of dummy half. Has a scoot. Passes to the left for Reynolds. Rubber for the in-goal area. Gosiewski gathers and scores. Beautifully weighted grubber. And it bounced up so invitingly for the journeyman Jack Gosiewski. Speaking of interesting stories, the man who started his career all those years ago in the top grade at Souths. And here he is, Jack Gosiewski, scoring the Broncos' second try. Brisbane 10-0 kick to come.
Yeah, good work by Gosiewski. It was a good kick coming through off the boot of Adam Reynolds, perfectly timed. He saw his left edge back row, had timed his run to perfection. Lovely weighted kick. It's ominous signs, Zano, for South. They can't really do much in attack. They're so disjointed. They're missing so many players. And in defence, they seem to... Fatigue will set in now. And without the bench being at full load, I can just see this being a bit of a bloodbath.
Yeah, I agree with you, and feel sorry for Thomas Fletcher. He gets his first touch in first grade, and of course, what does he do? He drops it, and the Broncos go down the other end and score. So, feel sorry for the young bloke from Coonamble. And yeah, look, Souths are doing well, I think, to be only 10 points down at this stage. But Adam Reynolds is lining up a very important kick here, Q, so I'll let you do your business.
And the one thing that Souths fans don't want to hear, which is a great discussion point, the Dolphins won a game with their injury list and a man in the sin bin across the ditch. So, I mean, it's a great talking point for footy fans. Reynolds just left of the upright, kicks the conversion, and Brisbane 12 leads South Sydney 0. If you've just missed it, by the way, Timona Sarko with that last-minute try. Dolphins beat the Warriors 20 points to 18. Big game in the AFL tonight at the Adelaide Oval. Second term, Hawthorn 5-3-33, lead Adelaide 3-3-21. And in the Women's International Rugby World Cup year, that Women's World Cup squad will be named on Monday. The Wallaroos 31 lead Wales 5 in that test match at North Sydney Oval tonight.
2,500 points for Adam Reynolds. Well done, young man. He scored 1,896 points in the Cardinal and Myrtle, and now he's managed to score another 604 points for the Broncos.
Carrigan first carry off the kick-off, 15 from the southern end. Ricky play 2 just beyond the 20. Jordan Ricky will get up and play the ball here. Ben Hunt's gesticulating to referee Goff. He thought it was a slow play, the ball. Now Talty up to the 30. Ben Talty in just his third game. Oh, pass to the left was dicey. Reynolds did really well to get low, almost like a gully fieldsman to scoop it up, and then he popped the pass to Gosiewski. Tackled 15 from halfway. Hunt passes right. Talty runs into the solid one-on-one tackle of Havili. 9 from halfway. Last play called by referee Goff. Brisbane get it to the boot of Walsh with a high kick downfield. Jai Gray tracks to his right, catches it 5 from his own line. A white-helmeted fullback with his namesake of no relation in the black helmet not out there at the moment, Brian Gray, because he hurt himself earlier in the game. And South Sydney play 2 up to the 20. So Jai Gray's out there, but Brian Gray's still on the bench down there, Zane. What was it, a shoulder earlier on?
Yeah, I think he's had an injection, Q. I think they're waiting to see how it settles, but yeah, I doubt we're going to see him back, honestly.
South down the middle third through Arrow. And the veteran forward taken 15 from halfway. Forget that Jay Arrow started his career at Brisbane as well, among those things. Penalty goes to Souths here for a loose... what's the call? For a hold down.
And this is probably the third piggyback Souths have had, which has helped their cause tonight. As I said, because of the inexperience, they're one man short on the bench. If Ryan Gray doesn't come back on, fatigue will set in. These piggybacks have been helpful, but unfortunately...
Hey!
Did you nearly get a catch then, Zano?
It whizzed past my head, Q, man. I just watched it go by.
He hasn't got a great strike on the ball. He had one kick already charged down.
It was a mishit kick to touch that almost hit the green ABC Sport logo on Zano's hoodie.
Let's just see if I can compile a better set of 6 in attack, though, the Rabbits.
Is that Myrtle, that green tonight, Zano? No, probably not. We have to stay impartial. Havili passes to the right. 6 more for the South side here. And what was that for? Run infringement? Anyway.
And there's a knock on there as well now.
This game's getting scrapped.
Shibasaki with a big tackle on Jacob Host.
They are so clunky, South, because we don't make excuses, because you got a 30-man squad. You got Wayman as your coach. So I don't have excuses. You have solutions. But they are missing that many players that this Zano is a very clunky side that they've rolled out here in Brisbane.
You know, I had the unfortunate situation. I was talking to Blake Solly, and as I was doing so, Peter Mamazelis was sitting right next to me, and I had to ask him, is Peter not playing? And he nodded and said yes, and then asked the circumstances, and poor old Pete looked like he was going to cry. That's just the situation you're in the moment.
So Brisbane with the ball, they lead 12-0, 10.5 minutes left in the first half. Friday night footy on ABC Sport. Broncos off the South Sarah and the scrum. First play taken just inside Broncos territory by Staggs. Carry 2, Hetherington into attacking territory by a couple of metres and a ping wavy fisty for the ruck infringement. So a fresh set for Brisbane. Talty down the left edge, taken 40 from South's line. Hunt passes back to right and centre field through Carrigan onto Hetherington. Hetherington stopped. 25 metres out centre park. Hunt directs the ball right to Reynolds. Chip for Walsh early in the set. It's into the in-goal area. Jai Gray's there though, and bats it dead. Well read by Jai Gray. And Adam Reynolds, what was that, play 3 or 4?
4.
Play 4 pulls the trigger on a chip.
And actually, it looked a little bit like he was hampered in chasing the ball there, Walsh. But I think Jai Gray always had him covered.
The Giant Grey's running out to the 20 as if it was
They're challenging saying that Walsh touched it.
taken dead by Reece Walsh.
Backwards, and it's knocked on by Reece. I disagree, mate. You get through it.
Did they have to challenge that, or did they just double check that in the bunker?
I think the bunker did pick it up.
Yeah, so Grant Atkins has given that call to Peter Goff. So it is a 7-tackle set from the 20 for Souths. 9.5 minutes remain in the first half. 2 tries to 0 to Brisbane. 12-0 the scoreline at Lang Park as Isaiah Tass has got the ball for South Sydney. 20 in from the western side, just beyond the 30 at the Caxton Street end. Played to Harvielli, passes left and centre field. Arrow gives it on to LeBlanc, taken a dozen from halfway. Now, good run down the middle third and post-contact metres for Arrow. That's 7 or 8 post-contact metres, taken 45 out. Havili to the left, gives it on to Dodd, who's wrapped up but gets a pass away to Jai Gray. Gosiewski's there to take him. And the fullback plays at 33 from the Brisbane line. Havili blindside left, gives it to Dodd, runs at the line, pops it up for Aitken. Ewan Aitken brought down by Ricky and Staggs out on that defensive right edge for Brisbane. So it's on the attacking left for South. Duncan passes right in centre field for Dodd. He's 20 out into the set, kicks across field for Bentley. Harvey catches and scores! Brilliant! There were 2 around young Bailey Bentley Harvey. And the Kiwi-born South winger flies high to score a much-needed try. 12 points to 4, kick to come.
Well, there's no better way to bounce back than to put together a set of 6 like that. That was a 7-tackle set. They worked their way up the field. A couple of great carries by some of the tight forwards. And Jacob Host had a great carry. Jai Arrow as well. Got him down the right end of the park. And then the Pommy fullback, so the Pommy halfback, Lewis Dodd, much maligned. He had a good carry, took him down the short side, and on the return tackle shot straight after, a great kick, and Harper, what a great catch.
Well, he just out leapt and grabbed Selwyn Cobbo there.
It's not an easy thing to do, so well done South Sydney. That's exactly what you needed. As I said, they needed to turn it halfway close, and it was very concerning because they weren't firing a shot at all at the Broncos. That's the first time they've completed a set down this end, and we're 33 minutes into the half, Q, and they finally got it right.
So Isaiah Tass is on kicking duties tonight with the reams of regular kickers unavailable. He's had 6 shots for 2 successful. Isaiah Tass, this is a tough one. 25 out, 10 in from touch, and the righties missed it by a mile to the left. It was a nice strike, but just wasn't in the right postcode, right across the face. No goal. Broncos 12, Rabbitohs 4. Friday night footy on ABC Sport. Billy Moore.
Well, that's great for this contest, great for the South Sydney players, especially the younger ones. They can see if they respect the ball, they can go down the park, and off the back of that, you've earned your right to attack. And that was a great kick, good catch for the Broncos. That brings home the reality that as soon as you take the foot off the throat of anyone in this competition, they can hurt you.
Reece Walsh with the restart. Deep kick, taken about a metre from the dead ball line, and LeBlanc runs it back into the defence. Here's a good question. Eamon from Queensland text, Q, Billy and Zane. I know Souths have injuries, but how can a professional team with a 30-man squad not travel with 19 or 20 players?
Good question.
This must be a serious mistake as Souths beyond the 20 on the carry here of Fletcher.
They travelled with 19, but both of them failed their concussion test.
Makes you wonder, why would you bring someone with you that needs a concussion test?
Yeah, I think that's the point. How can you get that wrong? Arrow is put on his back.
Especially 2 of them.
A metre his own side of halfway. 6 minutes to the break. 12-4 to the Bronx. Dodd with the left boot downfield at the end of the set. It's high and easy takings for Mariner, defensive right corner on his 10. It runs infield on the kick return just short of the 20 when stopped. So much.
You know what's interesting? Because of the injuries, they've been forced to play Lewis Dodd. Billy, they might be emerging something here tonight because he's been quite impressive, I think, in a side that's going backwards.
He wants the ball, which is great. He knows that his career in Australia is on the line. No better time to show everybody what he can do.
Brisbane leading 12-4. Shibasaki just beyond the 30 as the Broncos are working it upfield. Willison down the middle third, stepping up in the absence of Haas yet again. Plays it 2 from halfway. Ben Hunt. He runs out a dummy half and gets nailed. Havili got him big time, but Reece Walsh was taken off the ball. Penalty goes to the Broncos. Tackled on suspicion, the flying fullback.
That was a Havili special. He's a little tank, Hugh, and he got Hunt with a ripper, but for the South Sydney side, the unfortunate thing was that Hunt was taken off the ball. This is a crucial set of 6. They've got to hold the Broncos down. It'd be great for their confidence if they do.
So the Broncos on the attack. Fine touch about 25 out. Settling carry infield. Xiaomi stopped 15 from South's line. One man infield for Hetherington. He's put down on the 10, just to the left of the uprights. 5 minutes to the break. Brisbane lead 12-4, and there's 6 more here on a hold down from South. Reynolds shows it, gives to the right for Walsh. Puts Staggs into the hole. Staggs bursts through the tackle of Tallis Duncan and scores the try. Well, I said put him into a hole. It was half a hole. And if you're Katoni Staggs getting to run at the left shoulder of Tallis Duncan, it's as good as a hole. Duncan tried in vain. Staggs burst through. Brisbane 16, South Sydney 4. Kick to come.
That's the side of the Broncos attack that needs more use. Last week, Staggs had 6 carries. Xiaomi had 21. Far bigger an imbalance when you've got a strike machine like Katoni Staggs. Hunt took it down the right-hand side. Walsh linked, ran to the line, held up the ball just enough to create half a hole, as you said, Q. And Katoni Staggs, too strong, too powerful. That guy is world class. He needs more ball. He should be getting 15 runs a game, not single digits. And that, to me, when you do that, you've got your attack in balance.
And also there, with Tallis Duncan did his bit, but the guy that was running at him, it was Walsh who served it up. Who are you going to lean towards? Walsh running it himself or giving the pass?
You have to lean towards Walsh because he's so quick. So you've got to pay him respect, and he's clever enough. As soon as you pay that ounce of respect and you move your right shoulder in, you can't be going 2 different ways.
Yeah.
And that's when, as you said, the half hole becomes a full hole.
And a nice, he gets a bagging sometimes for some of his plays, but that was a nice subtlety from Reece Walsh.
It wasn't overly complicated.
Reynolds will try and convert. 7 metres in from touch on the right wing side and 25 metres out. 2 from 2 on the night for the former hero of Redfern. He kicks it for his new club, the Bronx. And what an impact he has made since making the move. Brisbane 18, South Sydney 4. 3 minutes and 17 seconds left in the first half. Meanwhile, in the AFL, mid-second quarter, Adelaide, after a slow start, has hit the lead against Hawthorn. The Crows 5-6, 36 to the Hawks 5-3, 33. And still the Wallaroos 31 leading Wales 5 in that women's international being played at North Sydney Oval.
Well, it's crucial now for the Rabbits. They cannot afford any more points. They've got to go in at half-time only down by the 14, so it's time for their defence to stand up.
Willison right edge and 20 out on the first carry off the kick-off. Now Ricky runs infield and taken on the 30. No Piakura, no Haas from the original named team. Hetherington to the left through the hands. Reynolds to Mem out to the edge for Xiaomi. Steps in field. Good tackle though from young Ward. Getting low. Taken up top by Tass, who helps out. Now Tolte over the NRL logo and into attacking territory by a metre or 2. Plays at 15 in from the western side. 45 from South's line. Back to one man infield for Hetherington. He'll take the tackle. We got a text about young Ward saying he looked like he should have been playing in one of the earlier games. He is slight for a young man in this grade. End of the set. Man with the bomb. It's shallow. It's leapt out and caught by Cobo. Beats the tackle of Gray. Flicked it to the wing though, but no one there for Brisbane. Xiaomi was the intended target. And there he is, young Ward. Ashton Ward in the right spot at the right time to catch that errant pass and save the day. Souths have got the ball.
And you know what, Billy? Wayne Bennett said in his press conference last week that he's actually playing a kilo heavier than Alan Langer when he first started. So he's 73 kilos, very slight, but he's got some talent. I'll tell you something else about him. His favourite player growing up, Darren Lockyer. His favourite coach, Wayne Bennett. Well, he's got one so far.
Ashton Ward from Wollongong. Gerringong, I think, is his junior club, so they'll be cheering there. Yep. End of the set, Dodd. South's only got to the 30, so Dodd's boots employed here to get him to the end of the field. Nice kick again. Just finds the gap between Mariner and Walsh. Mariner picks it up on the 10, back within or beyond the 20 by a metre or two. But the kicking game of Lewis Dodd has certainly got a tick so far tonight for South Sydney. As Cobbo with the ball for the Broncos, just beyond the 30 when taken. 70 seconds left in the first half. Brisbane lead 18 points to 4. Shibasaki runs infield and is taken down. Tenny's own side of halfway for the Bronx. Played to Hunt. Given to Gosiewski, one of the first half try scorers. He's held up in a 3-man tackle right in the middle of the park. He's called to play it. Hunt receives a dummy half. Passes to Reynolds inside. And then the pass from Mam to Walsh is forward. Reece Walsh is continuing to run. He's a show punter. He knows that the referee's whistle's gone. He's almost stopped twice, but he wanted to keep going.
What a play.
That was a very forward pass.
Yeah, it was definitely forward. It was across the ruck. It was the degree of difficulty was very, very high. The execution score very low.
And maybe I was a bit harsh on Reece Walsh, but he sort of I heard the whistle and then sort of Reece stopped for a bit, and then he thought, no, I'll just keep going anyway.
It was accentuated the forwardness of the pass because the 5'8" man got belted by Jacob Host and made it look even more forward than it was, but it was definitely forward. Great play by the Broncos. They pulled the trigger because there's only 45 seconds to go in this first half.
18-4 in favour of Brisbane.
He's still feeling the effects too, Billy. He's very groggy out there. I tell you what, I'm surprised he's not being HIA'd.
Well, I think he probably just got winded more than anything else.
He didn't miss him.
Jai Gray's going to feed this scrum for Souths. 5 inside their own half. 40 seconds left in it. Couple of plays to the left, but absolute swarming defence all over Tallis Duncan. Push back a couple of metres. Plays it still inside his own half. Given to LeBlanc. Liam LeBlanc can't get past halfway. So no momentum off the scrum win for South Sydney. Havili to the right. Arrow gives it, and Dodd chips for the right wing. He was hoping there for Bentley Harper. Hit the deck and sort of it ricocheted off the shins of Bentley Harper and Mam over the touchline. Will Souths get one more go? Yeah, I think it's their ball. And the timepiece is ticking down. So they've got basically 6 seconds to try and do something. 32 metres out. Given to Ward. Passes right for Jai Gray. Passes to Tass on an inside line. Over the 20. Floats the ball to centre field. Arrow gets it to the left edge. Through the hands. Aitken onto Tallis Duncan. And South Sydney has scored with the last play of the opening half. On a hoping right to left ship, Tallis Duncan has scored. Brisbane 18, South Sydney 8, kick to come.
I love rugby league. How good is that? They got one tackle. Brisbane are already in the sheds having the oranges. And all of a sudden they went, oh, wait on, we better tackle these guys. And South Sydney conjure a bit of rugby league magic. That is fantastic for their supporters, but especially for these young players to see what they can do. They didn't give in. They kept the ball alive. And Tallis Duncan, who's had a very difficult first half trying to contain Katoni Staggs, gets rewarded by finishing off a great team try by the boys from Redfern. Fantastic.
And the man who's about to line up this conversion kick, it was instrumental in the way that he was able to play. Isaiah Tass, he stepped past about 6 players, went back through the middle, and that's what created the overlap. Unbelievable that what he did there. That young man, he's going to try and convert Q.
25 out, 5 in from touch on the left. Last play of the half. Tass with his right boot. Across the face and doesn't even get the journey. And that makes it even tougher for Souths when you've got a 4th string kicker out there.
Yeah, he probably wouldn't practice a great deal of training, I doubt.
Yeah, so 3 tries to 2, but all 3 Brisbane tries converted, and the 2 Souths tries go unconverted. Half time, Broncos 18, Rabbitohs 8. Mam, Gosiewski and Staggs, the try scorers for Brisbane. 6-0, 12-0, but then Bentley Harpe scored on 32 minutes to make it 12-4 before Staggs scored for 18-4, and then we had Duncan's try just then for 18-8. So just repeating, Mam, Gosiewski, Staggs, the try scorers. Reynolds 3 from 3. Bentley Harpe and Duncan, the try scorers for South. Tass, none from 2. 18-8 at half-time. That's respectable enough for a South Sydney team that hasn't won in its last 8 games and is men down and lost Ryan Gray with a shoulder injury in that first half as well.
Yeah, you're right, Q. It's a situation where you can make as many excuses you want for South Sydney, but they're not coming here for sympathy. They've come here to be competitive, and at parts of that first half, I was fearing they weren't going to be. But every time you think, oh, this is going to be the nail in the coffin for them, they find something. That's been accentuated by, I believe, by the Broncos taking the foot off the throat just when they needed to be a grind, to be conservative, and basically put the ball at the back end of in the corner, make South come out from their end. They just seem to have lacked the ability to seal that deal when they needed the most. And this young South Sydney side have come away scoring their first try in the 32nd minute, finished off with one in the 39th minute. They're going to go at half-time. Listen to Wayne Bennett, excited and knowing, hey, yeah, we're down on troops, but we're in this with a chance. I think Michael Maguire would be in there with his boys saying, you see what happens when you don't complete, you take the foot off the throat, it can come back to bite you. So there's a lot of lessons in that first half. Can't wait for the second stanza.
The more I watch Brisbane this year, and we've seen them a lot in the flesh, I think their rugby league's spirit level in 2025, i.e. they find a way to sort of be around the standard of whoever they're playing. If they play a good team, they play great footy. Yes. If they play a lower team, it almost seems like that spirit level gets them. Do you get what I'm saying? It's a weird...
I do.
We've seen them a lot. They seem to turn up and match whoever they're playing with rather than just play their own way.
Yeah, they're almost looking at the opposition and they go, well, I'll only be as good as I need to be. I won't be as good as I should be. Because their should be is brilliant. But what we're seeing tonight is another example up against a side that is definitely on its bare bones, that, you know, they've got the opportunity to break up a big score, which will help their forward against, which is going to be crucial at the back end of the placings, I feel, for in the top 8. This second half will be a real big question mark, not about South Sydney. They've got as many excuses as they need, and I know they're not going to worry about that. But to me, this second half is all about the desire and will of the Broncos being able to impose themselves on an opposition.
Get on your belly. You got a thought? We'd love to hear from you. 0467 920 222 is the text message number. Please send us your name and where you're texting from on this Friday night. 0467 920 222. The Big Daddy from Coffs Harbour texts, loving the call. I hope that my bunnies can fluke a win. Well, there's not much fluke about what they've done in the first half. They've been gutsy. 18-8 the lead to the Broncos. Meanwhile, if you missed it, the Dolphins were a man down with Felice Kafusi in the sin bin. They had Herbie Farnworth limp off in the first half, and a lame Jermaine Osako scored the match winner with the last ball in hand play of the game across the ditch, and the Dolphins beat the Warriors 20 points to 18, with Luke Lewis giving Francis Molo in his 150th NRL game the 3 votes in the ABC Player of the Year. In the AFL, it's still in the second half. I think the game's still rolling. Adelaide, after a slow start, getting going now. The Crows 7-7-49 lead the Hawks 5-3-33. And good news for the Wallaroos. They've beaten Wales 41 points to 5. So great news for Australia in the Rugby Union. Of course, the final test of the British and Irish Lions series is at Stadium Australia tomorrow night. Here, half-time, it's Brisbane 18, South Sydney 8. Friday night footy on ABC Sport is back at the Cauldron after a trip to the newsroom.
ABC News with David Rowlands. Several countries say they will be holding further trade talks with the US after President Donald Trump signed a new executive order on tariffs. Chelsea Hetherington has the details.
Sri Lanka and Taiwan, which face a 20% levy, are among the countries that say they will try to negotiate a lower tariff rate with the Trump administration after the initial August 1st deadline to make a deal passed. The new taxes on dozens of countries will now come into effect on August 7th, with Canada being the only country to have its higher rate of 35% come into effect today. Mr. Trump says he's open to more deals with trading partners, including Canada, which has expressed disappointment with the move. Australia's baseline tariff on imports to the US will remain at 10%.
President Donald Trump's special envoy, Steve Witkoff, has reportedly arrived in Gaza to inspect widely criticised aid sites backed by Israel and the US. The BBC's Amir Nader has the latest.
Unconfirmed footage posted on social networks shows a motorcade inside what appears to be a Gaza Humanitarian Foundation distribution site in southern Gaza's Rafah area. The GHF's militarized distribution method continues to provoke international outrage. Steve Witkoff is expected to meet local Gazans and push Israel for more food aid to enter the territory. Latest figures published by the UN report that at least 859 Palestinians have been killed near GHF aid sites since it replaced the UN-led food distribution model in May.
The Israeli military says it has only fired warning shots near aid sites. The organisers of a planned protest in Melbourne this weekend say they are engaged in ongoing discussions with Victoria Police. Police have urged the protesters to rethink plans to block the King Street Bridge due to concerns around disruptions to emergency services. The Free Palestine Coalition says it's planning to go ahead with the peaceful protest, but says that talks with police about access are ongoing. Superintendent Troy Papworth says there will be a large police presence on hand.
Our experience has been that it significantly slows and delays emergency services in moving anywhere around the city anyway. So for us, accept that they do say that, but for us it is still a risk that we can't accept.
Germany says it will deliver 2 Patriot systems to Ukraine after reaching an agreement with the US. In return, Berlin will receive new Patriot systems, for which it is providing the funding from the US at an accelerated pace. Germany has already delivered 3 of its Patriot systems to Ukraine and says sending the additional systems will not affect its contribution to the NATO defence alliance. Ukraine's needs for air defence have grown more urgent as Russia has reportedly intensified its attacks in recent months. First Nations leaders are hoping to work with the federal government at the 25th Annual Gama Festival in the Northern Territory in an effort to improve Indigenous wellbeing. The 4-day Indigenous gathering was launched earlier today in northeast Arnhem Land. The festival is being held in the wake of the latest Closing the Gap data, which shows that only 4 out of 19 socio-economic targets are on track to be met nationally by the 2031 deadline. The CEO of the Yothu Yindi Foundation, Denise Bowden, says the gathering presents a timely opportunity for meaningful change.
If ever there's a chance that the Prime Minister and his Cabinet can move forward on Indigenous affairs, now is the time. We've made ourselves available to provide any types of advice that may help progress all of those outcomes.
Search and rescue crews remain hopeful as their search for a man missing near Alice Springs approaches the end of its 4th day. Gitch was last seen on Monday night and his car was found abandoned on Tuesday morning west of Alice Springs. Acting Sergeant Christopher Grother says 50 people have scoured more than 500 square kilometres and will continue to search into the weekend.
We'll be persisting with formal search efforts tomorrow. We do reassess the situation on a daily basis, but current indications and information that we have, we're hopeful that we will have a success. It may not be the case, but we will certainly be continuing intensive search efforts throughout the course of tomorrow.
Prominent Sydney priest and youth worker Father Chris Riley is being remembered as a tireless advocate who helped thousands of disadvantaged young people. He's died at the age of 70 after a long battle with illness. He founded the charity Youth Off the Streets in 1991 and served as its CEO for nearly 3 decades. Its current CEO, Judy Barraclough, says he had a unique ability to inspire and transform the lives of youth at risk.
And he just had a fierce dedication and commitment to helping young people. His heart was enormous for seeing young people to thrive and flourish and reach their potential.
ABC News.
The summer of cricket has arrived early.
Lobs it straight down the ground for 6. He's on the pull shot. Boy, did he get that!
White ball cricket takes centre stage in the top end as Australia take on South Africa.
Shout for leg before finger goes up.
It all starts on Sunday, August 10.
Down the pitch, there we go. Bang!
Every ball live on the ABC Listen app. Just click on the cricket button.
ABC sports coverage of the 2025 NRL Premiership.
Robert goes through the middle and gets an off-break to Mam. Up to halfway. Walsh is in, support on his right shoulder. Lovely 1-2 exchange. Mam to Walsh. Walsh to Mam. Mam scores. And the Broncos put on some razzle-dazzle to open the scoring on this Friday night at the Cauldron. Salty plays it now to the right. Reynolds runs it, gives it to Walsh to the right edge. Holds it up, gives to Ricky. Great tackle, defensive left side there. Duncan, made by Duncan. Now Walsh out of dummy half, has a scoot. Passes to the left for Reynolds. Rubber for the in-goal area. Gosiewski gathers and scores. Beautifully weighted grubber. And it bounced up so invitingly for the journeyman Jack Gosiewski. So it's on the attacking left for South. Duncan passes right in centre field for Dodd. He's 20 out into the set. Kicks across field for Bentley. Halfway, catches and scores! Brilliant! There were two around young Bailey, Bentley, Harvey. And the Kiwi-born South winger flies high to score a much-needed try. One man infield for Hetherington. He's put down on the 10, just to the left of the uprights. 5 minutes to the break. Brisbane lead 12-4, and there's 6 more here and a hole down from South. Reynolds shows it, gives to the right for Walsh. Puts Staggs into the hole. Staggs bursts through the tackle of Dallas Duncan and scores the try.
ABC sports coverage of the 2025 NRL Premiership.
On your radio, ABC Sport Digital Radio.
And on the ABC Listen app.
And now to try to Tallis Duncan right on half-time. And South Sydney is just ensured it stayed close enough, if good enough, at half-time. Welcome back to Lang Park. It's Friday night footy on ABC Sport with Quentin Hull, former Kangaroo, Billy Moore, Zane Bojak's down on the touchline. Brisbane lead by 18 points to 8, 3 tries to 2 in that first half. You can get in touch on 0467 920 222. Brendan from the Riverheads texts, shows that the Sharks weren't that bad. Go Bunnies for the Sharkies. In reference to last week where Cronulla just got past South's 14 points to 12 at Gosford. That was, in the end, an 8th loss in a row for South Sydney. So they're trying to end that horrid run with many a man down, and they don't even have a fit replacement player tonight because Peter Mamazelis, who was named in that role, can't get out there because he's still suffering concussion symptoms. So no Jack White and Jamie Humphries, who was named in the halfbacks jumper. He's not right to go, didn't play. So young Ashton Ward's in the halves with Lewis Dodd. And Brisbane, well, they're without Payne Haas and Brendan Piakura from the team that was named earlier in the week. And still doing enough, though. 18 points to 8 at half-time. Earlier, the Dolphins defeated the Warriors, 20 points to 18. Dramatic finish there with a last-second try, or thereabouts, last play try to Jermaine Asako. So big win for the Finns across the ditch. Means the Warriors top 4 places. Now, well, it could be closed even further if the Broncos follow up in this second half, Billy, and do as expected here. How are the Bunnies keeping in it?
Well, they're keeping in it with a little bit of belief. They have made a lot of errors. They made 6 errors in that first half, but they've just hung in there. They've done enough. I don't believe the Broncos have played their best and probably taken the game to where the South don't want it to be. South want it to be a grind, but they've actually given South, I think, 3 or 4 piggyback penalties coming out from their half. A few options, probably not the best, but all in all, Souths are there, and the longer they stay there, the more of a danger they're going to be. They're going to grow in confidence. They're down on troops. They will fatigue. Brisbane just got to grind. If they grind and then play smart, it could open right up, but at the moment, they've got to make sure they do the simple things right, and that's win the middle, and then off the back of that, kick chase.
Second half is underway. As someone tells the PA to fade down Neil Diamond. It sort of rolled through the first carry of Willison coming from the Caxton Street end. Brisbane in possession. There's a haze around the ground because of the halftime fireworks, and Amy Shepherd did a solo gig. I'm not sure what the group's doing these days, but she had a bit of a sing-along at halftime. fans just filing back into their seats as Gosiewski takes Brisbane beyond the 30 on the left edge. He's 15 from halfway. Plays the ball here to Hunt. Gives it on blind side to Mam on the left. Nice tackle though by Tass. Puts him down on halfway. Bit of a slow play the ball on the last. Referee lets it go. Reynolds from halfway puts a torpedo bomb downfield. Johnston's there to catch it. It doesn't from his own line. He gets to the 20 where he's tackled. Now Zeno, as you get ready for your halftime report, a little mea culpa. I miscommunicated that Ben Hunt, Peter Wallace stat. You were right. So Wallace was in Origin 2009 when Hunt came into the team, and then Wallace went to the bench when Hunt took over that halfback role in 2013. So your brain was around the right spot, Zeno. South's 10 from halfway. What news from the rooms?
All good, Q, man. Hey, can I say this? Wayne Bennett said, you boys, you've done really well. It's all about effort. He said, the 2 tries you conceded came off poor errors by you. He said, just keep fighting. Looks like Jairo is going to have to play 80. Is another mistake by South. And now the Brisbane Broncos are going to queue.
Cobbo's picked it up and beats the tackle of Bentley Harvey. Here comes Jai Gray. Can't do enough to stop Selwyn Cobbo. Scores in the left corner. Loose ball on halfway from South Sydney. And Cobbo with a telling blow early in the second half. On return to the top grade, Selwyn Cobbo runs 50 to score. 22-8, kick to come.
He's been dangerous in this game. His return match after a hiatus, where he was sitting in the Queensland Cup for a while. Well, he spent his time there and he's hungry and he's come back and he's eating rabbit. He's been dangerous tonight, every opportunity. But that is the worst thing that South can do. They've done it on multiple occasions. As Wayne Bennett said, the 2 to 3 tries that came in the first half were off the back of South Sydney mistakes. Now make it 3 or 4. That was poor handling. Didn't need to happen that way. And they've paid the maximum penalty. And that's exactly what this young South side didn't need. And well done by Selwyn Cobbo.
Yeah, and for the Broncos, Michael Maguire said you clocked off. He goes, I want you to have real intensity early on. He said you've got to make sure that you keep going down the middle, and particularly when you're here, like Jairo has to play 80 because there's no one else to go on. So they're going to get very tired, these South Sydney Rabbitohs. They can't afford to make errors, and unfortunately, they already have. Ryan Gray's going to sit on the bench, but it's very unlikely we're going to see him.
So it was shoulder, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Early in the game for Ryan Gray. And poor old Jai Gray lost his helmet in that previous play and then chased after Cobbo. Helmetless, couldn't stop him. Reynolds from left touch. Raises the flags. Sideline conversion for Adam Reynolds. He's a perfect 4 from 4 tonight, which makes him 71 from 85 on the season. His career kicking stats are around about 83%. It's amazing. Brisbane 24, South Sydney 8.
Do you reckon, Billy, that he puts in just a little bit extra because it's the team that let him go?
Not let him go. Didn't offer him as secure employment as the place that he ended up.
Yeah.
Is that the way to put it?
I don't think so. I think he's bigger and above that. He saw an opportunity in Brisbane to win another comp as being a better opportunity there, and he wanted to obviously move his family here, but he's an absolute professional. For mine, he is certainly Hall of Famer at some stage over the next 10 years.
Jen and Rusty are listening. I hope you're not too disheartened by that, Jen. She reckons that Jai Arrow can do anything. Number 1 South supporter.
I think Jai Arrow is a fantastic
of our listeners. That's the better half of James Maxwell.
He should stay at fullback as well. Latrell should be playing left centre.
Who's that? I said Jai Arrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Jai Arrow should be the fullback.
Jai Arrow?
Jai Gray.
Yeah, Jai Gray. She's talking about Jai Arrow.
Oh, sorry.
I thought you were getting a bit lost there. Never mind. Willison up to halfway. Brisbane to the right. Reynolds through Ricky on to Staggs. A little fumble, regather. Loose pass out the back. Ricky has to go backwards to gather it. He's lateral across halfway. They lost ground, but they keep it alive. Pass to Walsh in broken field. Watch out. Give to the left edge. Ship Shibasaki to Cobbo. It's last play and now Cobbo boots it downfield to the helmeted fullback. Don't call me Arrow, Jai. Here's Gray out of halfback and taken 23 metres from the goal line.
Touches.
Yep. Oh, look, Bill, we got to have a bit of fun at the footy. We have too much fun sometimes. Duncan has tackled for South. 20 in from the left edge. Midway goal line and halfway. Brisbane 24, South Sydney 8. Friday night footy on ABC Sport as Alex Johnston just gets beyond the 30. He's tackled. If you want to join the text messages though, by the way, 0467 920 222. Don't call me Gray. Arrow goes down the middle third. I was always going to give one each of those. Jai Arrow tackle. 5 inside South's territory. Now to the left. Dog gives it on to Gray. Through the hands to Duncan. Nice tackle, Staggs. Got on his face. Makes it 1-on-1. Last play here for South. They're 41 out in the left edge. Pass goes back to Dodd at the end of the set. It's a shallow bomb. No pressure on Walsh. Catches comfortably a dozen from his own line. Defensive right corner. Dummy's infield, but the dummy's not bought. And he's taken by a 3-man South's kick chase.
They just got to play arm wrestle for a little while, South, to see what the Broncos are going to do. And if they can keep that intensity where it needs to be, they'll stay in this contest.
You're getting support. Jen reckons that Jai Arrow could play fullback as well, just to help you out.
Thank you, Jen.
Brisbane 24, South Sydney 8. Broncos with the ball. Played by Willison, 10 from halfway out on the eastern side. 1-man infield to Shibasaki. And the one-game Origin star plays at 5 from his own, from the halfway line. Now to the right. Reynolds gives to Walsh. Men in motion. Out to the edge for Staggs. Tries to take them on. Great tackle, Tallis Duncan. That's a tasty battle between those two.
Tasty's a good word.
Staggs taken 40 metres out end of the set. Walsh puts up a bomb. It'll come down 10 metres out. Jai Gray leaps and catches brilliantly and tackled 8 metres from his own line. We've had 6.5 minutes of the second half and it's South Sydney trailing by 24 points to 8.
He's as sharp as an arrow, Jai Gray.
Stand up 2 on the mark.
Look at you. Just lining up. Now, we've unleashed something up here, Zano. Watch out. Tallis Duncan tackled on the 20.
Well,
should I say?
One thing about Jai Gray is he's hobbling in the backfield. I think he's got a bit of a contusion, a bit of a corky out of that collision from taking that high bomb.
Bentley Harvey up to the 30. He's got a great high leaping try in the first half. He doesn't look all that swift in his movement either as he plays it. Left edge shift. Give it to Johnston. Johnston up to halfway. Takes on 2 tacklers. Gets an offload away. Duncan passes to Dodd. Infield to Arrow. Laterally across halfway. Now Arrow straightens before being taken 1-on-1 by Gosiewski. Last play South. 45 metres out. 1 man to the right for young Ward. It's a high kick from the second game. Halfback. Caught defensive left edge by Cobbo near the touchline out on the eastern side and 10 from his own line almost to the 20 with the kick return. Yes, Zane.
It's a war zone here. Willison's coming off. He's got a problem with his arm around his wrist area. And Alex Johnston, please don't be injured. He's got a problem with his ankle. We want that Ken Irvine record to be broken.
Yeah, we've got 2 men limping. One's now come off. Oh, Johnston, he's right near the next play. Dodd has to 1-on-1 somehow drag down a charging run from Ricky. And Ricky's taken only 41 out. Now Reynolds passes off his right shoulder to Carrigan down the middle third. Stop, 28 out, quick play the ball. Hunt passes left for Walsh. Oh, there's an overlap. Oh, the hands though to the edge were poor. It was a poor pass from Hunt. Went to deck. Cobbo took it on the half volley. Gave time for the South defenders to shift. Cobbo's tackled out on the left, 20 metres out. Last play. Hunt chips for the in-goal area. Walsh knocks it on into the in-goal area. Arrow's there to field it anyway. And the referee says goal line dropout.
I'd say Xavier Wilson's broken his arm. By the looks of that, Zano, that's a long distance. That's a long distance medical review, but it does not look good. He tried to squeeze the hand of the trainer, and he was just absolutely grimacing in pain. Unfortunately, I thought Jai Gray was taken out in the air a little bit there. So a little bit unlucky.
And no knock on because it hit the leg of Walsh.
And Johnston's still down in the in-goal as they drop out.
Only 30 on the dropout. It was neither here nor there, not short, not long. Ezra Mam runs it back to within a dozen of the goal line for South Sydney. Brisbane on the attack again, leading 24 points to 8 Friday night footy on ABC Sport at the Cauldron. Talty on a straightener. Whistle goes from referee Goff. That's a high tackle from Tom Fletcher, I think, the young man on debut, has had a tough night. Penalty goes to Brisbane.
This will be tough for the Rabbits to hold out the Broncos this set of 6.
So they're about to take the tap and go. Ben Hunt does so. Passes to Carrigan through the right to Reynolds. Catch and give by Walsh to the edge. Brilliant hands from Mariner. One-handed gather from his ankles on a looping loose pass. Oh, that was sticky fingers in the extreme from Dean Mariner. And he scores the try on the right edge. Far from a classic clinical build-up, but what hands from Dean Mariner. He catches, he scores. Brisbane 28, South Sydney 8.
Well, they pulled the trigger, tackle 1 on that repeat set. As I said, you could sense that South were going to struggle to hold out the Broncos. And through the key players' hands, Hunt onto Reynolds. And then Walsh, the fullback, does what he does better than anyone else. He just chances his hand. And it was a huge lobbing pass. Great hands. The recipient, Mariner, what a beautiful right arm pickup around his knees, dragged it back in, steps off the right and scores a wonderful try, tackle 1, and that gives the Broncos now a big breathing space, 28-8 with the kick that comes due.
And Dean Mariner now with 4 tries for the season. They're embarrassed with the riches on the edges, aren't they, Brisbane? You think that that Karapani and Arthurs have been left out tonight.
Which is a big call by the coach.
17 tries between them.
Reynolds from 2 metres in from touch on the right and 25 metres out to keep his perfect record intact. That's a brilliant kick. Never looked like missing. We were right behind it. Reynolds with 5 from 5. Brisbane 30, South Sydney 8. 29 minutes left in the game.
Going back to that discussion on the wingers, Hugh, he's dropped both wingers, Arthurs and Karapani. Karapani was a guy that they basically bankrolled, in a sense. They put all the chips on his table. They extended his contract. I think they got a 2-year extension. But then after one game, unceremoniously both dropped. But their 2 replacements have played well.
And Johnston's got about a full pack of Electroplast on his ankle, I can tell you. There's not much tape left in any of the shops in Brisbane. And Wilson, it's a suspected broken forearm. It was on a tackle on Kepi. He copped the knee of Kepi right on his forearm, and it looks like it's broken.
Yeah, that is a big, big blow for Brisbane because he certainly was running into some really good form. Ricky up to the 30 as Brisbane run it back off the kickoff. They're playing a bit more confidently now, although Ben Hunt's pass to Hetherington. Hetherington fumbles it, knocks it on. Loose control from Kobe Hetherington.
Is that their Achilles heel in 2025? Are we seeing a side that when they're good, but they just can't...
Spirit level.
They can't sustain it. When you think about the Dogs, think about Penrith, what they do is they'll arm wrestle you for 78 minutes. That's where I think Brisbane, that's what they've got to improve between now and September if they're going to be serious for this title.
If Brisbane were to play a cutthroat final next week, who would be your 2 wingers for the Broncos there? Take your time, Billy. That's a question with notice. Souths have got the ball, 40 from Brisbane's line, desperate to score next to stay in the game. Tass is tackled out on the right edge, 40 from the line. Ward passes infield to LeBlanc, no great gain. And Liam LeBlanc tackled 38 metres from the Broncos line. Brisbane lead 30 points to 8 with 28 minutes left in the contest on a gorgeous Friday night at the Cauldron on ABC Sport. Centering run from Fletcher gets to the 30. Now left edge shift. Jai Gray receives. Passes to Johnston with an elastoplast around his ankle. He can't get through. He's taken down by the tackle of Staggs on the 20. Hard on Western touch. Jai Gray passes infield to Dodd through Arrow to a flat-footed LeBlanc. Runs into the defensive line, but he's easy pickings. Centrefield on 23 out when stopped. Played to Harvili. Shimmy's right, passes left for Dodd. Flat ball to Duncan. Almost through a hole. Right for the tackle. No, not flat. Forward. As called by referee Peter Goff.
Can I have a vote too, Hugh?
As always saying. So you've got to pick 2 out of the 4 players of tonight's combo, Cobbo and Mariner, and you've also got Karapani and Arthurs.
I have Karapani and Cobbo, and just basically make it work. The one's left, one's right.
I'm going to go Arthurs next to Shibasaki like the start of the season when they were on fire before he got switched over the other side, and I'd have Cobbo next to Staggs.
Okay. Yeah, it's a interesting discussion point. As much as we said, why the wingers getting dropped after you get beaten by Para, I think more than anything, it was to keep a bit of hunger in the likes of Cobbo and Mariner before the finals. To the left, on halfway, man with a step and straight and almost got through. Well tackled though by Host, 40 metres out. Walters is out there, blindside shift, given to Gosiewski, onto Shibasaki, rolls through the tackle of Bentley Harpy, but Bentley Harpy did enough to stop him up, or slow him up. Arrows there to complete the tackle. Played on the 30 out in the left, through the sets of hands to centre field. Reynolds from 30 metres out, bombs to the right wing. It's Walsh against AJ. Johnston knocks it on, and it's cleaned up by a Bronco. That was Mariner underneath it. He's tackled. 6 more for Brisbane. Reynolds passes left. Carrigan 10 metres out. Straightening and stop. 5 metres from the goal line. 25 minutes to go. Gee, this would be hard to stop if the Broncos score now, and Ben Tolte charges off the left shoulder of Billy Walters and careers into the in-goal area. Game 3, try 2. Ben Tolte scores for Brisbane, and it's now 34-8. Make it 36. Reynolds is not missing from under the sticks.
Yeah, 15 minutes into the second half, we now see the writing on the wall that we expected. Fatigue is set in on a squad that is decimated. They don't have a full bench, and the Broncos are now starting to hit their straps. They're winning the middle and then picking the Rabbits apart on either edge with their strike players and some good hole running, and that was just very simple. Billy Walters, who every time comes on in season 2025, makes a difference. Big fan of what he brings off the pine for the boys from Brisbane. And Tolte, as you said, 3 games, 2 tries, big body, huge body, very effective. And what he did just then by carrying the ball over the try line to score the 4-pointer.
This is going to get ugly now, you'd think. 36-8. Well, it's in the book before Reynolds kicks it. No need for the wide out. He dobs it from straight in front. Flags are raised. So 3 tries in this second half already for Brisbane. They led 18-8 at half time. Around the grounds in the AFL, Adelaide 8-7-55 to Hawthorn's 5-3-33. That's third quarter, and good news again, that Women's Rugby International scoreline. Wallaroos 41 defeated Wales 5.
Can I be devil's advocate here, man?
I'm always saying, go ahead.
Billy Walters is putting a lot of pressure on Ben Hunt to be the starting hooker. I know he's coming in against fatiguing players, and I know that it's great to have a finisher, but I tell you what, he looks a lot more comfortable out there than Ben has the first 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was just thinking about that as Carrigan with the kick return gets beyond the 10. My thought, Billy, as the Broncos hit it up, play 2, Ricky up to the 20, is that perhaps it's just right shape, right hole for Billy Walters, the player.
I think he's a perfect 14.
Yeah.
And when he comes on, he's devastating. He's got a 40-20 kick in him.
Left edge shift, Shibasaki dragged down by Tass, 5 from halfway. But, gee, you don't want to get too much conversation away from the play, Bill, because the Broncos now, I think they've got live prey, and they're feasting. 41 metres out, Cobbo the carry. Now Hetherington crawls to the 30 before being jumped on by the tackle of young Ward. Walters out a dummy half. Good work at marker there from Ward to make the tackle. Walters plays at 25 out. Hetherington passes right through Carrigan to Reynolds. Walsh on the right edge, gives it through Staggs onto Mariner. Mariner for the corner, rolls through Jai Gray and scores a double. And that's 40. And there's more to come, ladies and gentlemen. There's 23 minutes to go. 40-8. Mariner with a second try. Jai Gray did his bit there. He got there. He tried to get underneath the wing and trying to plant the ball, but Mariner too good.
Yeah, if you're going to be picky about Jai Gray, the one issue you've got is he's small. And that is the disadvantage there. He just wasn't able.
Greg Inglis would have been flat out stopping that, though.
Yeah, you're right. As I said, fatigue set in. They're playing front football, the Broncos. They're queuing up. They can see the opportunities. But the South Sydney defensive line is not coming forward to them. They're going sidewards. So every time they carry down the park, they're making extra yards. They're poking their nose through. And this will continue for the next 22 minutes as long as the Broncos don't make errors. They keep their foot on the accelerator. This will be, would be 60. So for the South Sydney side, they've got to get the ball back, be error-free, kick, chase, and just be brave.
Well, this now moves them up to plus 110 for the season. They start at plus 78. They're leading by 32 at the moment. So for the Brisbane Broncos, every point they can get is going to help them. Penrith is 1 point in front of them, and of course they've had a draw. But all those teams that are coming in behind, including the likes of the Sharks, and we're going to see tomorrow night Manly, and of course the Roosters, they're all on those even points. So for and against could be important come the end of the year.
It's only massive for and against. So I couldn't agree with you more.
We're in sync. So I was literally going to the live ladder to look at that and the importance of Brisbane racking up a score here. Make it 7 from 7 for Reynolds. Sideline conversion from the western side, 42-8.
Let's talk about the wooden spoon. Where does this leave? Obviously, the battle for the spoon. Is it solely between Gold Coast and South?
It would leave, well, Souths have got 2 free points to come. They've got a bye second last week. So they've won 6 games. The Titans have had all their byes, and they've only won 5 games. So at the moment, the Titans are above them because of the weird way that they give the 2 points for the bye. But yeah, South 6 wins, Titans 5 wins. That's what it looks like, but Titans above them on for and against and the extra 2 for the extra bye.
They've got their nose and ears in front of the Rabbits, in theory, when you put the bye back in.
Yeah, well, when you go for and against, though, the Titans are in front, and of course now they're minus 183.
Digger from Goulburn says, stop the fight. He wants us to list our top 8 from 1 to 8. We don't have time now, Digger, but if you wait after the game, you might have a bit of a delve into that. Left side shift, Reynolds, Shibasaki, dummy and line break. Up to halfway, Cobbo in support down the wing. Infield he goes. Passes a shocker along the ground. Jumped on by Hubner. Oh, that's a hurt locker play.
How do you
blown try?
How do you bomb that with one South and 6 Broncos players?
That was the old Guy Pearce. You remember the opening scene of the hurt locker? Yes. He was the bloke who put his foot in the landmine. He didn't last long in that movie, Guy Pearce. Bombed try. Souths have got it 15 from halfway.
1 on 6 and they were able to stop it.
Well, give it to Cobbo down the wing. He was flying. Now left edge shift from the bunnies as Duncan is tackled on the NRL logo. 5 in from touch on the left. Plays the ball to Johnston. Passes infield to Aitken. Ewan Aitken takes the ball into the defensive line. And that's 5. Souths are 45 metres out. There's 20 minutes left in the game. Last play blindside. Jai Gray gives to AJ. Over the 30. Chips over the top of Mariner. Walsh slides there though to defuse the chip and chase. And he's jumped on immediately by Johnston. Nice question asked by the veteran winger with that last play, but Walsh up to it to defuse it. Brisbane with it on their own 10.
Yeah, well, they didn't give in. That's a couple of great plays in that last set of 6 down this left hand, the western side of the field. So well done, the South Sydney boys, for keep asking a couple of questions.
Tess, Sess and Baby Beck, they're in the western stand, and they text, happy birthday to Buck. Because Buck's the long-time Broncos mascot. It is the horse's birthday today, the 1st of August. Yes, happy birthday, Buck. Thank you. Carrigan to play it, 30 from Brisbane's line. Walsh is going to kick downfield. From his own 30, he's gone for a massive 40-20 there, but it won't find the touchline. Bentley Harpy gets back there, gathers on his 10. Great kick, chase. Gosiewski and Mam up in his face, and Bentley Harpy sure of the 20 went tackle. Plays it to Ward, give it to Jai Gray, who's middle third over the 20 and tackled high. Penalty to South Sydney, that'll help them.
And that's not much needed piggyback. This will be, I think, number 4 for the night, maybe 5.
Maybe they're listening to us, Q. Look at the big screen.
Oh, there it is. Horse's birthday. They've got a little party hat on, Buck. Fantastic. And a little little banner there and everything. And for those that aren't aware of what we're talking about, there is a universal date where in thoroughbred racing, the horses become a year older, and the racing season ends on the 31st of July as well. So that's why they have the 1st of August. So I think Via Sistina now goes from what being a 7-year-old mare to an 8-year-old mare. I think I'm right with the Cox Plate Champions age. Anyway, off to the right. Souths have got the ball. It's Isaiah Tass tackled 8 in from the right, 40 from Brisbane's line. Broncos lead 42-8. Brisbane scoring 4 tries already in their second half against the undermanned Bunnies. Middle of the field, Kepi's tackled 35 out. Now to the left, Dodd gives it on to Jai Gray. Through the hands to Duncan. He's dragged down by the tackle of Staggs. Tried to throw a miracle pass. It's pinched by the Bronx and they play on. Picked up and run in field by Mariner, but he stopped on the 30.
Well, he's not dying wondering, young Tallis Duncan, up against Katoni Staggs. Doesn't have the legs of getting through the hole, but he keeps trying.
Gosiewski receives the ball on the left edge. Comes in field but wrapped up in the tackle. Brisbane midway goal line and halfway. Gosiewski plays the ball to Walsh. Given off left shoulder to Jensen, who's tackled around the ankles by Arrow. Friday night footy on ABC Sports, 17 minutes to go. Brisbane doing a number on Souths. It's 42 points to 8 for the Broncos after earlier tonight the Dolphins beat the Warriors 20 points to 18. Now 10 inside their own half to shift to the Riders on. Walsh quick hands to Staggs. Beats Johnston. Gets through Todd. Up to the 40. Steps through Hubner. Up to the 20. Beats Jai Gray. Gets tackled by Munro, but has support. Pops the pass to Staggs, and he scores the try.
Well, that's delicious. You used the words tasty earlier on in this game, Hugh. That was delicious work there by the Broncos. They can see the opportunities across the park, and they've got some great exponents when things go good. They are brilliant, the Broncos, and they do a big right to left to right hand shift through the hands. Obviously, Katoni Staggs, that's the money play, comes up against...
It was Mariner who scored gave to Mariner back to Staggs.
Back to Staggs.
Yeah, that's why I paused for a moment. I thought, hold on. Staggs can't pass it to himself, but he'd already given it to Mariner.
The big key play, though, is when you have Staggs, he pushes away from Lewis Dodd, gets himself into the backfield, and then accelerates away from the defence, positions Mariner, beautiful pass back to Mariner, who then is cut down by, is it Tyrone?
Yeah, Tyrone Munro.
And beautiful late offload by Dean Mariner back to Staggs to finish off a great play there by the Broncos.
He deserved to score the try. He set it up. Yeah. Katoni Staggs.
See, Munro has to play in the back row queue because they're so short of reserves, and he couldn't come on and replace Johnston, who's running out there hobbling like he's got no horseshoes.
Reynolds slightly right of the uprights. 8 from 8 for the champ. 48-8 for Brisbane over South Sydney with 15 minutes to go. You got a thought? 0467 920 222. Please send us your name and where you're texting from. Katoni Staggs. Now 5 tries for the season.
As I said to Q, I made the point, every time they bring Staggs into the play, you realise how good he is, and to me that should be their strike side. Shibasaki can be the workhorse side, and I love watching him play and watching what he's done in 2025. But Staggs is your Rolls-Royce side, and that's where you've got to bring him into the game when you need points.
Restart was a bit of a wobbler. Fielded by Walsh by trapping it with his shins. He pops up the pass, but no running room there for Jensen. Tackled a dozen from his own line. Now Ricky, right edge, just beyond the 20. 3 defenders around him. We've got Melbourne in Melbourne next week. South Sydney, they play at Rabina against the Titans. So you're speaking about that battle for the spoon. It could be Spoon Sunday next week at Rabina.
I think that's what you're playing for. That's the...
Can we call it Spoon Sunday already?
We are.
It's named now, forthwith. Gosiewski 30 from his own line tackle.
Cutlery weekend and for the supplements.
I'm running with the next tomorrow, Q, so yeah, it will be Spoon Sunday.
You're going to... Okay. Jensen tackled 5 from his own line.
That's in case they might beat the Panthers tomorrow. Who knows?
That would be quite the feat. Reynolds with the kick downfield. Johnston catches it, 15 from his own line. Passes to Gray. Beats the tackle of Mam. Up to the 40. Gets through a high tackle of Staggs. Staggs comes again to knock him down.
He's great in full flight.
And then, there's no one in a dummy half. Duncan was too slow. Jai Gray played the ball and Staggs at marker jumps on the ball. Legal play. Brisbane get it. because there was no one quick enough to get underneath the feet of Jai Gray. So Gosiewski's tackled left edge on halfway. Mam out of dummy half. He's through. He'll score. A dummy and beats the marker, and he strolls 35. And that is 50. Raise the bat, Bronx. Rub it into Benny's mob. You're flogging them. It's 52-8 kick to come.
I was about to say, is there a better small player in the game than Jai Gray? And then within 2 plays, we probably see someone that we'd be talking about, hey, I should be on the podium as well. Ezra Mam, about the same size, or Jai Gray be a little bit smaller? Either way, both great little men in our game. And Ezra Mam, we've seen so many big games what he can do himself down that left-hand side. And yet again, we just see, given the slightest opportunity, he just carves up the opposition. And then when in the backfield, his speed, you don't, Zano, appreciate how quick he is.
Andrew in Canberra, Zano says, sorry, Q, my spirit level appears to have been dropped and broken. When I was talking about how the Broncos sort of either just stay at the level of, look, but they do love fresh powder on a good day. When they get going downhill, boy, they look good.
Well, that's why they can beat any team in the comp when they're at their best. And anyone who doesn't think that is wrong, but it's that moment, are they going to be at their best when it matters the most?
Jai Arrow has just been pleading with Peter Goff. In fact, he just got sent away so that Reynolds could take his conversion. He has been arguing that Staggs was not square at mark, and I know Johnny Sutton on the sideline, he was going off his nut for the South Sydney Rabbitohs as well. But 6 centimetres Jai Gray is less.
Reynolds makes it 9 from 9.
170 centimetres to 176. Ezra Mam, he's electric, Billy. I saw him for the first time about 5 years ago playing for South Logan, and I went, who is this kid? He was absolutely killing it in the Queensland Cup, playing against guys about 10 years older than him, and he's just gone from strength to strength ever since he's gone into that 6th jersey for the Broncos.
So 54-8 is the scoreline. If you've just joined us, it was 18-8 at half-time. Cobbo, 43 minutes. Mariner, 51 minutes. Tolte, 55 minutes. Manor again, 59 minutes. Stagg, 65 minutes. And Mam just then on 68. So that's the try scores. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them in the second half. Duncan has got the ball back from a short kick-off from the Bunnies and tackled 20 metres out. So Talis Duncan's kept trying on the left. Souths have got the ball after the restart.
Staggs knocked the ball forward into Talis Duncan's hands. He beat 3 players, Q.
Now Kepi on a straightener, tackled 12 metres out. Here's a chance for the Bunnies. Dodd gives it on to Young Ward. Inside line run from Jai Gray. Receives the pass, gets tackled. 11 metres out, 10 to the right of the upright. 6 more as it's given to Hubner. Lachlan Hubner is held up. 3 tacklers there to stop him. Centre field and 8 metres out. Jai Arrows in at hooker. Passes right. Ward gives it on to Jai Gray. Taken down by Shibasaki. No Ryan Gray. He hurt his shoulders early in the game. Arrow back to left and centre field. Through the hands to Dodd. Rubber is into the hands of Ricky, who beats Dodd. Ricky's got 80 to run, 50 to run, 40 to run, 30 to run. He's got young man chasing him and getting him. Ashton Ward gets him and nails him 5 from the goal line. Now man in a dummy half. He's rammed into by Tass. Good tackle. Great chase, Ashton Ward. Well done. Now Carrigan, he's a distributor. Passes left for Reynolds. His hooping pass to the edge is intercepted. Now it's going the other way. Bentley Harpy's got 80 to run, 40 to run, 30 to run. He steps in a divot, loses his footing, gets tackled by Staggs.
He's been sniped.
Oh, I hope that's not a Herbie Farnworth from earlier tonight. No, he's okay. Souths have got it there, 30 metres out. Munro runs up to the 20, runs into an offside man and then gets smashed from a no-arms tackle from Walsh, was it? No shoulder charge there. Play on. The Bunnies 10 metres out. Shifted out to the right edge. Bit of space for Fletcher. On to Boo, he's taken tackle the metre out. Last play. Nut, 6 more. Ping, ping. Tass gets the pass away to Hubner, and Hubner completes a ridiculously free-flowing passage of rugby league with a South Sydney try.
That should be worth 6 points. They're on the ropes, South. They're on the ropes. They're on their knees, and we saw an amazing play. Kick put through by Lewis Dodd. Very ineffective. It's gone all the way down the other end of the park. What a great chase.
Go Ashton Ward.
Ward.
Kidney's second game.
Brings him down just, 5 metres out. Great tackle. And then the Broncos try a left-hand shot, and the halfback Reynolds throws a miracle ball over the top. And unfortunately for him, ends up in Bentley Harper's hands. He gets tackled. The ensuing play, they're just trying to find space anywhere.
Oh, is there any rap from that Reece Walsh hit?
No, there's not.
Well,
he's very lucky to not be penalised for it, but it probably works out better for South anyway because they get the try. The miracle ball was passed very late by Tass. Great pass. And ends up in the hands of Hubner to finish off a great passage of play.
You know what I'm surprised about? That the bunker allowed it to play, because the play that actually resulted in the intercept, Tass actually picked up Ezra Mann to play the ball and dunked him into the ground.
Young Ward's going to now try and kick the conversion slightly right of the uprights, 11 metres out. Knocks it through with his right boot. Gee, the touches went scurrying across to their right, and I thought for a moment he'd missed it. But no, it's a goal. Conversion is good. Brisbane 54, South Sydney 14. 8 minutes and 13 seconds left.
I know Wayne Bender said he's 1 kilo heavier than Alan Langer, but he's taller, Zano, for mine. He's a bit of a string bean. When he fills out this young half, there's something about young Ward. He looks good, and there's nothing better than seeing a young player not give in, and that cover try-saving tackle. That's all heart.
Just back to Reece Walsh, he sort of was trying to get his left arm up to make the tackle.
The elbow wasn't by the side. The arm was out there. He just never moved the arm.
Yeah.
So he just dived in, but there's no wrapping. There's definitely no wrapping, but the arm was definitely not by the side.
And there's a reason why Lockie Hubner was happy, Q. His first ever try in the NRL.
Yeah, and celebrating his new contract through to 2028, the boy from Rockhampton. Penalty to South Sydney here. Was there a hand in the rug from the Bronx there from Billy Walters? This is getting rather frayed with 7.5 minutes to go. Around the grounds in the AFL. Hawthorn's gone back to the lead, getting close to three-quarter time. Hawks 10-4-64 to the Crows, 8-9-57. What have we got? A Reynolds challenge here.
Yep.
That's as good as decision overturned, isn't it?
Well,
he's so good at it.
Bookmakers are very short.
Yeah. Market closed.
Works the ball out.
Oh, I might be wrong.
And it's then lost. The challenge by the Broncos is unsuccessful.
The challenge unsuccessful from Adam Reynolds. Well, 8 minutes to go. I don't think he wants to die with the coupons in his pocket.
I'd like to know the last time.
Don't get to the end of the game with tickets not used.
Can anyone tell me the last time he missed a challenge?
Yeah, just then.
Besides that one?
He doesn't miss many when it counts, does it? No. And fair to say, with 8 minutes to go at 54-14, this one doesn't count all that much. South Sydney with Gold Coast next, and then they've got, before the end of the season, it's Gold Coast, then Parramatta, then St George Illawarra, then the bye, and then the last 2025 chapter of the Book of Feuds to finish off. The old last round Roosters Souths game, which has become a bit of a fixture of recent years. So, will they try and, can they find another win? They're stuck on 6 wins. This will be a 9th loss in the row for them. Although in the hands of the Cardinal and Myrtle, Aitken on the NRL logo plays at Western side. Through the hands, Kepi to the right. Young Ward gives it on to Arrow, who's taken down. Was that? No, it's Aitken. Aitken plays it. Pass to the right, given to Ward, popped it up for Tass. His pass bounces to the right edge. Bentley Harpy picks it up. That's okay. He's quickly tackled, though, by Ben Hunt. Game 200 as a Bronco for Ben Hunt. Played out on the right. Tass passes infield to Dodd. From 30 out, he bombs. Taken by Walsh, a metre from the goal line. He runs and steps past the tackle of Arrow up to the 10 before being stopped.
That was a well-placed kick there by Dodd. He's done a few good things and a few not so good things tonight, but it's good to see him get a full game under his belt and to show everyone what is there. Just as a fair few cobwebs on him at the moment.
Dean Mariner, 2 tries tonight. Recalled to the team. He's tackled 25 from his own line. 6 minutes left in the contest, which is now a rather loose way to describe this football, because it's been a non-contest in the second half. 6 tries to 1 for Brisbane. They lead 54-14. I haven't seen a crowd figure as yet, Zano. I've got a text asking for the crowd.
38,430.
Thank you. 38,430. Rubber from the Broncos at the end of the set. Jai Gray takes it on his own 30 and is going to be met there. So for the Bronx, they travel to Melbourne to play the Storm. Then they play the Dolphins here, Newcastle in the Hunter, North Queensland in Townsville, and finish with Melbourne here. So Melbourne twice, a derby against the Finns, a trip to the Hunter and a trip to Townsville for the Broncos.
Yeah, those 2 Storm games, that'll be a good test to see exactly where both sides are prior to September.
Left side shift here, Dodd through the hands. Duncan, his pass sort of ricochets off the attempted tackle of Mariner and cleaned up. Yeah, cleaned up by Dodd out in the left edge. Infield, the pass goes to Harbner. Taken a couple of metres from the halfway line. Havili now passes infield to Arrow. Arrow runs laterally across halfway back to the left edge with a weaving run. Runs into the tackle of Walters and Reynolds and also Jensen there to put him down. 4.5 minutes to go. Havili out of dummy half. Passes to right and centre field. Dodd change of direction to the middle third run of Harbner. Taken 23 metres out in centre field.
Arrow's gassed. He can't go anymore, Q.
Arrow's gassed. There's an energy company gag in there somewhere. Same, but I'll leave it alone.
It's a broken arrow.
That's a John Travolta movie. Pass to the left. Dodd. Oh, he slips over and gets jumped on by Gosiewski. Tackle 12 metres out. Pretty old action movie, that broken arrow, isn't it? Jai Gray to the left. Last play? No, second to last. He's tackled. No, it was the last. They ran it on the last. He's tackled. Hand over. And there's 3 minutes and 40 seconds left in the game. 54-14 for Brisbane over South Sydney. 18-8 at half-time. But the floodgates open in the second 40. And with the Warriors losing earlier tonight and a big win for Brisbane, that's really going to help their push for a double chance in 2025.
It's got the Panthers hovering there as well, so that's where this competition
and the Finns.
Yeah, it's the most open I've seen. You've legitimately 5 big guns are sitting there, and then you've got some fringe sides, if they're on their day, can really trouble you as well, so it's an exciting finish for 2025.
Hunt with a chip on halfway for Walsh, steaming through, bounces good, he passes to Mam. Mam's run down 10 metres out. Gee, that was lovely, but well read by Tass. Mam to play it, does now to Carrigan, numbers on the left. Carrigan gives it to Walsh, who score. There was no defender in front of him on the goal line, and Reece Walsh scores. 58-14, kick to come.
The only thing I saw wrong with that was it looked like Ezra Mam was limping Zano at the very end. I'm not sure whether he hurt his ankle, but yeah, this contest can't finish soon enough for the boys from Redfern and the Bronx. They were able to, once they get in the backfield, it was almost like who wants to score next. Yep. Great little chip over the top, well regathered by, close to being forward that pass from Walsh on the man. Yeah. Anyway.
Dave in the ACT text, Broncos running all over the most depleted team in the competition, nothing to see here.
Yeah, probably could say that, but
there's an element of that in it.
One thing we did say, 60 was on the board, and they're going to get to that point. The Bronx.
Yeah, I remember the Rabbitohs once upon a time put a heap on the Roosters, didn't they, just before the finals one year? Did Adam Reynolds kick 10 that night?
Geez, I know.
Be getting close to his record.
You're good with that stuff. Well, it'll be 10 for sure here because he's straight in front. So Reece Walsh now has 7 tries for the season. That's probably the easiest of them. Amazing to think that the ball was played 8 metres out, one pass to the left, and Walsh did not have one defender on the goal line in front of him because they were just so split.
That says enough about how fatigued the Rabbits are.
Perfect 10 for Adam Reynolds against the Bunnies, you betcha. He kicks the conversion from straight in front. 10 from 10 from the former Redfern champ, and that is 60. 60 to 14 with 90 seconds left.
How many games has Adam Reynolds played for the Broncos?
Well, he's played 231 for Souths, so that's 69 plus 5 is 75. This is 75th, Zano?
Yeah, that's right. These stats coming in here, 74, so 75 tonight.
75th. 231 for Souths across 10 years. Short restart. Bounces 5 metres from the halfway line and then bounced straight into the hands of Johnston, who was hanging around just beyond the 40. It was almost very kind for AJ there and for South to just bounce into his hand after the kick wasn't executed all that well.
You would have loved to have been a meaningful part of the game because that was a brilliant finish for the Rabbitohs.
Other stories of the night. So right arm injury for Xavier Willison, potential broken forearm for him. The rising Brisbane forward, and Ryan Gray has hardly played any part of the night for South with a shoulder injury. Dodd off left shoulder, forward pass to Sean Peppy. And blown up quickly from ref Peter Gott. Craig from Alba Beach in Queensland. He's sort of riding on pretty interesting sort of precipice here. Evening, gents. Always enjoy the call. Happy birthday, like all horses, to my beautiful wife, Lisa. Not that I would ever compare my wife to a racehorse, except they are both beautiful. Cheers. Craig from Alba Beach.
Good talking there, buddy. You're going to need it.
Yeah. I don't know where you were going there, Craig, but thank you. Thought I'd share that. And happy birthday to your wife, an August 1 birthday. South's not ready by the shot clock. Hooter. Scrum penalty, differential to Adam Reynolds.
That was bizarre. It was almost if they wanted us to give away a penalty there, the Rabbits. They made no attempt to form a scrum. I was standing around talking. It was a CWA meeting.
20 seconds left. Bronx are 40 metres out off the kick downfield. Ben Hunt passes to the left. Reynolds chip beautifully to the edge for Cobbo. He'll catch it 30 metres out. Tackle, pops it backwards. Picked up by Gosiewski on the bounce. Gives it back to Reynolds. 30 metres out. He passes 20 metres across field to Carrigan. It bounces. He catches it. Gives it to Walsh on the right edge. Walsh takes them on. Oh, he weaves past Duncan and also Johnston, but his pass infield is stolen by Havili in the last play of the game. And Brisbane has thumped South Sydney 60 points to 14. A 9th straight loss for the Bunnies, an unprecedented area for the game's most capped coach, Wayne Bennett. And all those decades in the game, he's never been on a losing skid like this. And Brisbane, they keep the pressure on the top four with their 11th win of the season. Broncos 10 tries to 3, 60 to 14. It was 18-8 at half-time. Let's make sure I've got all of these try scores. Now, Ezra Mam scored twice. Reece Walsh scored once. So too Gosiewski, Staggs, Cobbo. Mariner was the other one who got 2 tries. So Mariner with 2. Mam with 2, that's 4, so I need 6 individuals. Gosiewski, Staggs, Cobbo, Tolte. No, Staggs had 2. I lost I couldn't keep up writing them all down. 2 to Mam, 2 to Mariner, 2 to Staggs. Singles 2, Walsh, Cobbo, Tolte, and...
You're forgiven for this, I've got no idea.
It was 10 tries to 3. I'll get it right in a minute. Bentley, Harpy, Duncan and Hubner scored for the Rabbitohs. Gosiewski was the other one. There you go. So 2 to Mam, 2 to Mariner, 2 to Staggs, Walsh, Cobbo, Gosiewski and Tolte. 18-8 at half-time, 60 to 14 at the end. Keep your messages coming on 0467 920 222. Down to Zana.
I'm down here with a man who couldn't have tried any harder. He played the full entirety in the front row, which is something you don't see very often. And look, we know about the injury problems your side has got, but how tough is it, Jai Arrow, to play this Broncos side when you're down so many troops?
Oh, it's not too hard playing rugby league, mate. It's obviously a game that we love playing. It's not ideal, the result, but personally, I'll continue to turn up week in and week out for my teammates and put on this red and green jersey and continue to turn up no matter the circumstances. And I love this club, I love my teammates, and I do all I can for them.
Okay, take me back to the start of the match. Your 18th man goes down with concussion symptoms, so you don't even have Peter Mamazalis to start with, and then your hooker in the game goes out with a shoulder injury, so you're down a man as well.
Yeah, as I said, look, it's not ideal, but you play with the cards you dealt with, and we just got to do that. And I thought our effort was great in the first half, and we wanted to work on that going into the second half, but unfortunately, when you give the Broncos an attacking side like the Broncos that much ball, they sort of reap the rewards, and they did. And we just didn't really turn up that second half. It's quite disappointing, but yeah, as I said, mate, we'll continue to turn up and play how we speak about it at our club, doing your best, and we'll continue to do that every week.
I know Wayne's never won a wooden spoon in the NRL. Is it something you guys are talking about, not wanting to let him do that?
Nah, not at all. I've won one, so another one wouldn't hurt me, but for the rest of the boys, no, it's not ideal. And look, we'll work hard and still got to buy up our sleeve to, rest. And we've got a big one next week against the Gold Coast, so yeah.
All right, I'll let you go, mate. Really appreciate chatting to you. If you do get your breath back, just quickly, Lewis Dodd. I thought out there, look, there's a real positive. He's getting a go thanks to injuries, but I thought he was pretty good out there.
Yeah, he has. He's taking the opportunity with both hands, and he'll only get better as the more games he plays. So they're very happy with Dotty tonight, considering the scoreline is pretty ugly, but really happy with his kicking game and whatnot.
All right, I'll let you go. Best of luck on the goalie next week.
So, Jai Arrow's either so tired that he's got no gas in his voice, or he's carried a little flu into the game as well. Shows what a workhorse he is. Good on him for fronting up there with Zano. Great chat. And now he's got Selwyn Cobbo with him. Well done, Zane.
Oh, I've got one of my favourites here. He's back wearing the Broncos jersey. Now, talk to me, Selwyn Cobbo, about last week playing for Winner Manly out at Augathala, and now being back here in front of 40,000 with the Bronx jersey on.
Yeah, it was country round last week for Q Cup, and I enjoyed going out them ways out west and them small country towns. I love playing in them country towns. I know what it means to the community and the town. Coming from a small community as myself, and it's good to see all them kids turn up to them games and put a smile to my face, and to come back here to Suncorp, all the fans and family come to the game. It just brings a smile to my face, being back in this jersey and getting the win tonight,
So when did Michael come to you this week and say you're going to play, and what has he said? Has he given you an opportunity to stay in the jersey, or is it just 1 week? What do you know?
I guess he just gave me the opportunity this week, and just take it with two hands and just go after it, I guess, and just do my job. Don't overthink it or nothing. The team knows what I bring in. Just knowing to just do my role, and don't make it complicated.
All right. Do you know what happened with the Dolphins earlier tonight, because they're your team next year?
I'm not sure. I was focused on my game, so I didn't know if they. Wasn't really worrying about the other games. Really, just focusing on my game, and
They beat the Warriors in the 80th minute thanks to a Jermaine Asako try. He's that injured that he couldn't even take the kick along. Herbie Farnworth's on his hamstring. Terry Reader might be ringing the Broncos and saying, can they get you over early?
I'm here for the rest of the year. I'll stay here at the Bronx and try to get that big. The big trophy at the end. Not really worried about Dolphins for now, but that's my concern for next year. But just waiting for the Bronx now,
Just finally, next week, Broncos take on the Melbourne Storm. I know it's always a match which gets circled by the Broncos. Are you ready to take on the team which many consider to be the premiership favourites this year?
Yeah, no, we'll turn up with the right attitude. We'll go back to training and work hard and turn up with the right attitude. Yeah.
Always a pleasure watching you play, Sal, and congratulations on the great performance tonight, and best of luck next week.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Good on you, Zane, and great to hear from Selwyn Cobbo. He's had to bide his time in the Queensland Cup the last couple of weeks. His first game in the top grade since round 18, and he scored a try tonight in what was a pretty comprehensive performance from Brisbane. And even without the try, he certainly, you can see a man of his class and stature come back into the top grade, and he was a handful. Zano's working overtime down there. He's got Billy Walters with him now.
I tell you what, this bloke's putting some pressure on Benny Hunt. I know he's very effective in the 14, but I don't know, Billy Walters, would you like to wear the 9?
I'll let Dozer do all the hard work, and I'll come on when everyone's tired. So it seems to be working at the moment, so probably should just leave it as it is.
What was the message this week after the Eels last week just got over the top of you? Kicking game from Mitch Moses was exquisite. You'd really only changed 2 positions with the wings, and of course no Payne Haas tonight, but what was the main reason why you're able to get over the South Sydney Rabbitohs and continue the onslaught?
Yeah, they're a tough team. We know they were going to come all night, and we probably just went back to basics, just run hard, tackle hard, and kick into corners and see where that gets us. And I thought we did that really well in the first half, and we gave them a few leg outs of their half. But we know we put some work into them, and we knew it was going to open up in the second half, and it did.
All right, this is a question I've got to ask you. Payne, we understand, is an infection. Hopefully he's back next week when you take on the Storm. Xavier Willison's broken his arm. That's obviously a big loss for you guys. And Brendan Piakura got the HIA training this week as well.
Yeah, it's not ideal to be getting these injuries this time of the year, but hopefully X gets a scan and comes back pretty well, and Payne can recover it well. And I'm not sure about Brendan if he's going to be able to play against the Storm on Thursday, but there's boys there that have been wanting to get a crack, and I'm sure they'll do the job when they come in.
What about Benny Tolty? He got another try tonight. He's a try scoring machine.
Yeah, he is. He's a good impact player. He's got a lot of leg speed, and he's a great fella too. So it's good to see him getting some NRL games and a few meat pies.
Now I know Michael Maguire said his press conference this week that he talked to all you guys in the spine and said you got to get it to Renault on the 5th play and let him call the shots. Do you feel like you got that right this week, that it was mainly Renault calling the shots on the last play?
Yeah, it was. Renault's obviously first choice kicker, but we also spoke about taking a bit of pressure off him and trying to use our other options in Walshy and Ezra. So it was more about the kick choice rather than who's kicking the ball. So we just need to be turning it over in the corner, and we got a lesson from that from Parramatta last week. And I felt like we did that well tonight, and got to take it especially against the Storm next week.
Yeah, my final question: you used to be a Storm boy. You're looking forward to taking on the purple?
Yeah, they've been the benchmark the last 10 years, and even this year they've been a little bit off the pace in some games. But I reckon everyone would say they're the team to beat this year. So it's a good test. We got them 2 times in the next 3 or 4 weeks. So it's a good test to see where we're at.
I'm calling you the killer, Bill. You come on there, you always make an impact, and you always seem to set up tries as well. Congratulations on a great performance, and best of luck next week.
Thank you, mate. Go the Bronx.
Good on you, Billy. Nice to hear from you with Zane Bojack down there. 60 points to 14 was the final scoreline here. We'd love to hear from you on 0467 920 222. And just on my way to you, Billy, for your wrap-up. So the results of tonight really do put the squeeze on the top 4. So with the Warriors losing in that last play to the Dolphins, so the Warriors remain on 12 wins, but their points differential is plus 26. Brisbane is now 11 wins with a points differential of plus 124. Penrith are hot favourites to beat the Titans tomorrow. So if the Panthers win, they'll be within half a game of the top 4. So the Panthers, game in hand, 10.5 wins, 10 wins and 1 draw. Points differential is 79, but the differential for Penrith is not as much of a talking point because they've got that 1 point from a draw. So Warriors lose, stay on 12 wins. Broncos win, get to 11 wins. Panthers are on 10.5 wins with a game to play this round. So should Penrith do as expected and beat the Gold Coast tomorrow, there will only be the 1 premiership point between 4th and 5th. Warriors holding on to 4th just. That's, of course, if Penrith win. And the Dolphins, they've stayed in the fight for the top 4 because they've now got 10 wins as well. And even you think of Well, the Sharks have got 11 wins with the bye in hand, so that's a bit deceptive because the Sharks are down now in 8th because of their premiership points, but they've got another 2 cheapies to come because they've got 11 wins. So, you know, the double chance is well and truly alive. We thought a few weeks ago we had the top 4 locked away, but now with a couple of injuries and a change of form for the Warriors, Raiders, Storm, Bulldogs, you can give them the double chance, I'd reckon. Yep. But now there's a real fight on for 4th place.
Yeah, there definitely is, and you'd put your money on the Panthers. You don't win 4 comps in a row and then get nervous about winning a couple of end-of-season games. So right now I've got Penrith finishing in 4th. The Warriors could decay away here, and they could be in a bit of trouble. I can't see them missing the 8. They need one more win over the next month and a half to totally seal that deal.
Yeah, Manly in 9th has got only 9 wins. So the Warriors have got 3 more wins than Manly.
So it's a thing that...
5 to play, yeah.
But the Warriors have lost 2 games at home now. Over the last couple of weeks, so that's concerning when you. But it's a strange year for the Warriors. They've almost been better away from home than they have been across the ditch in Auckland, which has never really happened before. But they do seem to grow a leg when they come across the Tasman Sea at the moment.
And as was the case in 2024, they are nowhere near as good a football team with Luke Metcalf not in it.
Yeah, without a doubt, they've
ever since he's been injured, they've struggled a bit, and that was off the back of Mitch Barnett getting hurt as well. So 60 points to 14. Now that I've put my shoes and socks back on to count with fingers and toes, I'll give those try scores again. Stags 2, Mariner 2, Mam 2. That's 6 of the 10. Singles to Walsh, Cobbo, Gosiewski and Tolte. 10 from 10 with a boot for Adam Reynolds. South Sydney's tries to Duncan, Bentley, Harpe and Hubner. 18-8 half-time, 60 to 14 at the end. So Souths have lost 9 in a row. That's the first time that's happened to a Wayne Bennett coached team during his illustrious career. And the Rabbitohs, they've got 4 games to come. 5 weeks, but 4 games. Gold Coast at Robina, Parramatta at the Footy Stadium, the Dragons at Stadium Australia, a bye in the penultimate round, and they finish against the Roosters. There's a huge opportunity for a win or 2 there.
If you had a South side which had even only half of those players back in it, they'd be competitive and a chance to win all those games. But right now, their danger is they don't have enough firepower to really dent a side that turns up. Now, someone like Parramatta we saw last night, the way they played the Storm, that to me would really trouble South at the moment. Under a Mitchell Moses controlled team, they'll be consistent, they'll be kicking long, they'll be making South come out from their end. A recipe for disaster when you're making mistakes and you don't have the rugby league IQ on the park to get yourself out of trouble. So
I think it's pretty plain to see that under Jason Rolls in the first year, now with Mitch Moses back, that Parramatta is playing almost twice as good footy in the last 8 weeks as it is in the first 8 weeks of the season.
Without a doubt, that those hopes of green shoots are more than being proved. They're there, and it will continue to grow. They're a young side which will, I think this time next year, will be in around the mix. They'll be in that sort of that's 8 to 12 zone.
And so the Broncos' last 5 can be summed up this way. 2 games against Melbourne.
Yep.
They have 3 trips away. Melbourne, Newcastle and Townsville. And their 2 games at home are Storm again, that's in the last round, and the Finns. So they've got a local derby and the Storm as their last 2 home games. Outside of that, they travel to Melbourne, they travel to the Knights, they travel to the Cowboys. It's not a very... It's far from an easy last 5 weeks for Brisbane.
Yeah, you're right. It'll be made easier if they put their best foot forward and they're consistent and they control the ball and they go the grind game, but they go the patient game, and then when the opportunity comes, pull the trigger.
So what do you get out of tonight?
What I got out of tonight was South Sydney completely bereft of ends because they're bereft of players. So just park that. I'd want to give a quick acknowledgement. I thought 3 players from South need special mention. Tallis Duncan playing a back row, playing in the centres, up against Tony Staggs, did a great job. Jai Gray, I thought was fantastic, as he always is. He had 21 carries for 190 odd metres. He never stopped training. And the other Jai Arrow, I thought he was fantastic as well. So those three need some acknowledgement for putting in. For the Broncos, when the going's good, we know they can be great, and they were tonight. But up against the side they were playing against, you wouldn't want to read too much into it. It'll really be answered next week when they head to Victoria and take on the Storm. That's when you'll be able to draw a form line on where they actually are at the moment as a team.
Keep your messages coming on 0467 920 222. Now, I can see Zane Bojack circling down there. Good luck. You're trying to get the skipper. He's too busy taking selfies. Doesn't want to chat, Zano? Adam Reynolds is down there.
No, he's doing the right thing by the crowd, which is fantastic. He's doing selfies and autographs, but yeah, I think I'm going to get Tony Staggs very shortly.
Okay. We saw him just, doing his bit with the fans. Zane Bojack on patrol down there. Earlier tonight, Jermaine Asako scoring with the last ball in hand play of the game to beat the Warriors 20 points to 18. The headlines there, hamstring injury for Herbie Farnworth. It looked like quite a serious one as well. And Felice Kafusi was in the sin bin when the Dolphins, I didn't count it, but I reckon in general terms, it went through about 10 sets of hands for that last try. Now, Zano, sorry, I can see you downstairs.
Yeah, I'm down here at Katoni Staggs. He's getting some photos taken. There's a lovely sign here. It says, Katoni, it's my birthday. Can I please have a photo? And he's just taken the photo with her. Katoni, just quickly, mate, 2 tries tonight. You love that ball coming out early.
Yeah, obviously you got a little bit of early ball there. And, I think the start of the game, we just wanted to set it up, and I knew that there was going to be space there, and we just needed to play the long game tonight, and obviously, the ball found its way out to me. So,
what's the mentality when you're on someone like Tallis Duncan, not traditionally a centre? Do you feel like, okay, I'm going to really test him out?
Yeah, I just obviously respect the person. It's not his main position, and he did well there tonight, and he actually got a try on me. So, he did well, and I just, respect him as a player, and I just got to do my job.
And what about having Mariner on your side? Did you like having a bit of speed outside you?
Yeah, he's got some toe about him, and give him the ball early, and he makes a break. So it was good to have him on my wing, and he played well tonight.
All right, I'll let you get back to it. You're doing a great job.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Good on you, Zano. Yeah, the players, a few of them still hanging around, getting the selfies with the fans on the western side of the ground. Quentin Hull, Billy Moore and Zane Bojack wrapping up Friday night football on ABC Sport from the Cauldron. Brisbane 10 tries to 3, 60 points to 14, the final score line. And Adam Reynolds with a sweet 10 from 10 with the boot as well. Around the grounds in the AFL in the last quarter there, that's a ripping game. The Crows have got back to the front against Hawthorn. Adelaide 12-11, 83 to the Hawks 12-6, 78. So the Crows lead by 5 points there halfway through the last quarter. Earlier tonight, the Australian women's rugby team, the Wallaroos, defeated Wales 41 points to 5. So I think the Xavier Willison arm injury is a bigger talking point than most will grant. We were speaking sort of during the season about, okay, there's Haas, there's Carrigan, but then what about the group of that second group of forwards? Collectively, they hadn't really stood up, but Xavier Willison was starting to poke his nose out from that group. That's going to be That's a huge loss, Xavier Willison.
Yeah, it is. Obviously, we're not sure how soon Payne Haas will be back, whether it's just a one-weeker, but he did come out of Origin not 100% as well from a back complaint. So Xavier Wilson, as you said, all of a sudden burst through the glass ceiling that had been put in place for a lot of those Brisbane forwards, and his trajectory was great. We're talking this guy's Origin probably even as soon as next year. But that broken arm, you'd assume that's the season.
Well, it depends on how bad it is, because you think you put an arm in the cast, that's 4 to 6.
Yeah.
So, and then it depends on the nature of the break.
Where it is in the arm.
Yeah, I mean, go have a chat to Mal and see what